Chapter 481. Since you're not angry with me, I'll let you carry it for you. It's not a big deal anyway. I can help. Zhao Yin'er couldn't win against Zhao Si, so she had no choice but to agree. Thank you, brother Zhao Si. Zhao Si shook his head. It's okay. You're welcome. Zhao Yin'er pursed her lips. She felt that Zhao Si was quite enthusiastic. However, Zhao Si was her relative. It was normal for him to take care of her. However, when the two of them walked together, rumors immediately spread that Zhao Yin'er seduced Zhao Si. Some people who wanted to stir up trouble went directly to Zhao Si's house and told his wife. Zhao Si's wife, Nian, rushed to Zhao Yin'er's house with a kitchen knife. Many women also came to join in the fun. What the women wanted to see was Zhao Yin'er being defeated. They didn't dare, and had no reason to stir up trouble. They had to find someone to stand up for her. When Zhao Yin'er and Zhao Si came over, they were stunned when they saw the scene. Zhao Si said to Nian, "Qin'er, why are you here with a kitchen knife? Why are you not cooking at home in here?" Nian glared at Zhao Si angrily. "I'm here to settle the score with this vixen. She seduced my man of all people." Zhao Si was stunned. He digested what Nian meant. Did his wife mean that Zhao Yin'er seduced him? While Zhao Si was stunned, Nian had already rushed toward Zhao Yin'er with the kitchen knife. She looked like she wanted to fight Zhao Yin'er to the death. Zhao Si hurriedly took it down and yelled at Nian. "What are you doing?" Seeing that Zhao Si was protecting Zhao Yin'er, Nian made a bigger fuss. "Zhao Si, are you protecting this little b***tch?" Zhao Si glared at Nian and said fiercely, "What do you mean by protecting her? You're just talking nonsense." Why did he rush over with a kitchen knife and say such things? Who told you that cousin Yun'er seduced me? Why don't you use your brain and think about it? We are cousins. What else can happen? Just now, he saw that it was difficult for her to carry the water alone, so he helped her carry it back. He didn't know that such a small thing could be described as seduction. Do you know that this will ruin cousin Yun'er's reputation? Nian calmed down after being scolded by Zhao Si. Thinking about it, Zhao Si and Zhao Yin'er were cousins. What else could happen? If something really happened, then it would be incest. She knew her man well. He would never do such a thing. Moreover, other than seeing Zhao Si helping Zhao Yin'er carry the wooden bucket, she really didn't see Zhao Si do anything out of line. Along the way, she had been instigated by other women, so she didn't know the specific situation. All right, hurry up and apologize to cousin Yun'er. Don't be so reckless next time." Nian knew that she was in the wrong, so she immediately apologized. "Cousin Yun'er, I'm so sorry. I don't have a brain. I believe everything others say. This time I wronged you." Nian's attitude was good. Just now, Zhao Si also helped her to scold Zhao Yin'er. Naturally, Zhao Yin'er wouldn't hold on to it. Chapter 482. Zhao Yin'er's sharp eyes swept across the group of women who were watching. They were so scared that they trembled and didn't dare to make a sound. "All right, let's go back. Don't follow the crowd next time. Don't talk nonsense if you don't know the situation. Look, aren't all the rumors false?" Zhao Si tugged at Nian's arm. She said that for Nian's sake, as well as for those who spread rumors. After that, Zhao Si said to Zhao Yin'er, "Cousin Yin'er, I'll go back first." Zhao Yin'er nodded. The people who were there to watch the show gradually dispersed. Seeing these people leave, Zhao Yin'er was a little annoyed. They always said that she seduced men. Who is she seducing? It takes two to clap. Since the man wanted to cheat, it meant that there was something wrong with him. Why did they have to blame it on the woman? Zhao Yin'er hated people who had an affair with other women behind his wife's back, not to mention having a relationship with them. A group of brainless women. At night, Zhao Yin'er was grinding beans under the candlelight. Dauda had already gone to bed. Now that the trial sale had been going on for a while, the soybean milk was selling quite well. It cost 2 coins per cup. It was delicious and nutritious. Many people bought soybean milk with fried dough sticks. There were quite a lot of rich people in Yang City. They didn't feel reluctant to spend money on food. If this soybean milk was brought to a small town, it probably wouldn't sell so well. Zhao Yin'er was grinding when the door of her house suddenly rang. Knock, knock, knock. Someone was knocking on the door. Zhao Yin'er frowned. Could it be that AB** starred really came to find her? Who is it? Zhao Yin'er asked. The person outside didn't answer. Who is it? Zhao Yin'er asked again. Still no one answered. Zhao Yin'er cursed in her heart. He was even playing with her. How interesting. If you know what's good for you, get out of here quickly. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. You're in for it. Zhao Yin'er threatened. But the man outside the door still did not leave. Zhao Yin'er frowned. This man wouldn't want to force it, right? Did he know that a woman like her was easy to bully? Motherf asterisk her. If he really dared to use force, she wouldn't mind beating him until he begged for mercy. Bang! 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 Someone knocked on the door again. Zhao Yin'er decided to open the door first and deal with this man, just like how she dealt with Zhu Sanlu. Thus he opened the door. When Zhao Yin'er saw a black figure come in, she took the basket and covered his head. Then, she picked up the rolling pin at home and threw it at the man. I'll beat you to death. How dare you come here in the middle of the night? If I don't teach you a lesson, you won't know how powerful I am. Zhao Yin'er scolded angrily as she hit him. Yin'er, it's me. Yin'er, don't hit me. It's me. The man begged for mercy. Zhao Yin'er was stunned. This voice was so familiar. This person's figure also seemed very familiar. Zhao Yin'er suddenly remembered that it was Mu Lianfeng. She was a little excited and a little uncertain. Was it really Mu Lianfeng? But why did he come here so late? Just as Zhao Yin'er was puzzled, Mu Lianfeng took the basket off his head. Yin'er, are you trying to murder your husband? Mu Lianfeng's tone had a trace of playfulness and helplessness. This time, he came back with great difficulty. He didn't expect to be treated like this by Zhao Yin'er. It was really a little frustrating. Chapter 483. Mu Lianfeng smiled helplessly. If it wasn't me, who else could it be? Yin'er, it wasn't easy for me to come back just to see you, but you beat me up until I'm covered in scars. Zhao Yin'er's mouth twitched. She also felt a little embarrassed and distressed after hitting Mu Lianfeng. That's because you didn't say it yourself. I didn't know who it was. I wanted to give you a surprise. Mu Lianfeng explained. Zhao Yin'er's mouth twitched a few more times, and she continued to talk to Mu Lianfeng. Then you should be glad that I didn't beat you to death. You didn't say a word, and I didn't know it was you. A few days ago, there was one who came running over. I beat him up and threw him out. Zhao Yin'er was talking about Zhu Sanlu. Hearing Zhao Yin'er's words, Mu Lianfeng's eyes suddenly became sharp. A man came to find you? Who is it? Zhao Yin'er looked at Mu Lianfeng with a murderous gaze. It was probably because he didn't want to see his woman being provoked by other men. I've already taught them a lesson. Don't worry, it's useless even if they come. If one comes, I'll beat one. If two come, I'll beat both of them. I'll beat them to death. Looking at Zhao Yin'er's fierce look, Mu Lianfeng's mouth suddenly curled into a smile. His Yin'er was so cute. Mu Lianfeng also knew that Zhao Yin'er must have suffered a lot while he was gone. If he could accompany her by her side, it wouldn't be like this. Therefore, Mu Lianfeng took a step forward, walked in front of Zhao Yin'er, and pulled Zhao Yin'er into his arms. Yun! Mu Lianfeng whispered in Zhao Yin'er's ear. Zhao Yin'er felt that she was caught off guard, and fell into a broad embrace. Mu Lianfeng's pleasant smell enveloped her whole body. Mu Lianfeng hugged her so tightly that Zhao Yin'er didn't even have a chance to struggle. However, this feeling of being hugged tightly by Mu Lianfeng was somewhat warm. Her heart couldn't help but beat at this moment. Mu Lianfeng buried his face in Zhao Yin'er's neck and said to Zhao Yin'er, Yin'er, I miss you so. I've been thinking of you all this time. I've been thinking of you all the time. Facing Mu Lianfeng's affectionate confession, Zhao Yin'er blushed slightly. I miss you too. Seeing that you didn't come back for so long, I thought that you didn't want me and Daodu anymore. There wasn't even a message from you. Zhao Yin'er's tone was a little reproachful. Because she missed him, she blamed him for not even sending her a message. Yin'er, I'm sorry. Aren't I back now? This time, I'll never leave you guys again. Mu Lianfeng hugged Zhao Yin'er tightly. Zhao Yin'er didn't know whether she should believe him or not. Maybe he had to leave again in the future for some special reason. However, Zhao Yin'er could feel Mu Lianfeng's heart. This man was making a promise to her. It wasn't easy for him to do this. I know. The atmosphere between the two of them became more and more ambiguous. Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but caress Zhao Yin'er's face. He kissed her forehead, then began to kiss her face, and finally her lips. His lips covered those two soft areas just like cotton. There was a hint of sweetness amidst the freshness. After tasting it, he sank deeper and deeper. Chapter 484. He was greedy, and Zhao Yin'er could only passively accept it. Mu Lianfeng's kiss was so passionate that she almost couldn't breathe. Zhao Yin'er tried to push him away, but she couldn't muster up any strength in front of Mu Lianfeng. She had just opened up a little when Mu Lianfeng's hand grabbed her head again. This guy, could he not be so violent? Her mouth was about to be bitten off. Mu Lianfeng had no intention of letting go. Their movements woke up Daodu, who was in the bed. Daodu poked his head out and saw Zhao Yin'er and Mu Lianfeng passionately together. Although Daodu was very excited to see her father come back, she still obediently did not disturb the intimacy between the two of them. His head, which had originally poked out, went back into the blanket and continued to pretend to be asleep. Zhao Yin'er couldn't break free, so she could only accept it. Mu Lianfeng's kiss was so passionate that Zhao Yin'er's body slowly went limp. She suddenly thought of a phrase, like a wolf or a tiger. Mu Lianfeng was a wolf and a tiger, and he wanted to eat her up. After a while, Mu Lianfeng stopped kissing and continued to hug Zhao Yin'er. Yin'er, I really miss you. I know you miss me, but why are you here so late? After all, it was already so late. Mu Lianfeng wasn't in a hurry to come over, was he? I just arrived in Yang City in the evening. After I settled the matters in Yang City, I rushed over to you. After saying that, Mu Lianfeng added another sentence. Because I miss my wife and son, and I desperately want to see them. I don't want to waste any time. Zhao Yin'er's heart was filled with a touch of sweetness. It turned out that he was always thinking about her. Zhao Yin'er called out to Mu Lianfeng. You must be tired from the day. Come and rest. He had been on the road for the whole day, so he was probably exhausted. Mu Lianfeng nodded. The two of them lay on the bed in each other's arms. Although he was a little sleepy, Mu Lianfeng suddenly couldn't bear to sleep. He had been waiting for this moment for so long, and he finally returned to Zhao Yin'er's side. Yin'er, His Majesty ordered me to do something here, and it will probably take a while. Once this matter is done, I can ask His Majesty to grant a marriage. Mu Lianfeng hugged Zhao Yin'er. Zhao Yin'er couldn't help but be curious. Here, in this village, we're going to mine in the mountains. There's a huge iron or mine in the mountains. His Majesty is expanding the army, so he needs more weapons. We found it 3 years ago. We came here at that time, but there weren't many people. We were stationed at the foot of the mountain. This time we're going to start the official mining. His Majesty is in charge of it, so Yin'er, during this time, I'll be in the village to accompany you. Zhao Yin'er nodded. She could understand. The ancient times were the era of weapons. Once the army expanded, weapons were indispensable. This required a large amount of iron. Once a mine was found, it was normal to mine the iron ore. And mining the mine wasn't something that could be done overnight. That meant that Mu Lianfeng would stay in their village for a long time. She wasn't in a hurry to marry Mu Lianfeng. As long as this man could stay by her side, it was fine. Okay. Yin'er, if only I could meet you earlier. Why didn't I see you when I came to the village 3 years ago? Mu Lianfeng said regretfully. Chapter 485. Zhao Yin'er smiled. It's hard to say when it comes to fate. You didn't meet me in the past, so it can only be said that fate hasn't arrived yet. Perhaps you might not have taken a fancy to me when we met then. To fall in love with someone, one had to consider the right time, place, and people. Mu Lianfeng thought about it and agreed. The first time he met Zhao Yin'er, he was attracted by her uniqueness. If it wasn't for that time, he wouldn't have noticed this woman. The two of them chatted for a while more before falling asleep. The next morning, Zhao Yin'er went to sell breakfast as usual. On the way back, she bumped into Ma Xiaofeng, who was sitting on the ox cart. There were still some vegetables in the basket she was carrying. She probably didn't sell all the vegetables on the street, so these were the leftovers. Lu Lei, Xiaohong, and other acquaintances were also sitting on the cart. Zhao Yin'er or almost forgot about the 24 copper coins that Ma Xiaofeng owed her. She was too busy every day, so sometimes she would forget about it. Zhao Yun'er's little donkey slowed down a little when it caught up with the ox cart. The moment Ma Xiaofeng saw Zhao Yun'er, she quickly averted her gaze, not daring to look at Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun'er knew that Ma Xiaofeng was afraid that she would ask for money. She would avoid it if she could. Zhao Yun'er didn't ask for it previously, so she thought that she had forgotten. As long as she didn't appear in front of Zhao Yun'er, she probably wouldn't remember it either. Zhao Yun'er smiled and said, "Ma Xiaofeng, how's business today?" Zhao Yun'er's sudden question made Ma Xiaofeng's heart tighten. She knew that Zhao Yun'er definitely wanted money. "No, nothing," Ma Xiaofeng answered guiltily. It wouldn't be good if she didn't answer. "The 24 copper coins you owe me. I thought you would take the initiative to give it to me. But I've waited for a few days and still haven't seen it. If you still don't send it over, I'll go to your house and ask for it." Zhao Yun'er said faintly. She didn't really want to find trouble with Ma Xiaofeng, but she really hated this woman's character. He owed her 24 copper coins, yet he didn't say a word and even avoided her. If she forgot about it, she would really not return it. She wanted to get lucky. When Ma Xiaofeng heard this, her face turned green with fright. Actually, she had been selling vegetables in Yang City every day for such a long time. Sometimes she would walk there because she wanted to earn more money. Then, she could save 1 or 2 copper coins from the money she earned from selling vegetables. If Zhao Yun'er really asked her for money, she would have the money to pay. She couldn't tell her mother about this. If her mother knew that she owed 24 copper coins, she would definitely skin her alive. "Big sister Yun'er, can you give me a few more days? I'll send it over to you later," Ma Xiaofeng asked nervously. Zhao Yun'er wasn't sure if Ma Xiaofeng really meant it, or if she wanted to delay it for as long as possible. Perhaps she would forget about it one day. "It's been a few days, but you still haven't shown any signs of returning it. You didn't even tell me before. Tell me, how can I believe you?" Zhao Yun'er asked in return. Ma Xiaofeng bit her lower lip aggrievedly. Tears welled up in her eyes. "Big sister Yun'er, I beg you. Just give me a few more days. I promise I'll return it. Please don't let my mother know about this. I don't want to be beaten." With that, Ma Xiaofeng started crying. Seeing Ma Xiaofeng like this, she really looked a little pitiful. Crying like this in front of so many people made Zhao Yun'er seem a little overbearing when asking for money. Chapter 486. She knew how to act pitiful in front of everyone to gain sympathy. Of course, this world sympathized with the weak. The people in the carriage immediately began to speak up for Ma Xiaofeng. They were from the same village and knew very well that Ma Xiaofeng's family was poor and did not have it easy. Ma Xiaofeng's cheap mother often scolded and beat her. If they knew that Ma Xiaofeng owed Zhao Yun'er 24 copper coins, they would probably kill her. "Yun'er girl, forget it. Anyway, you sell breakfast every day to earn money. Do you still care about Xiaofeng's 24 copper coins?" "That's right. Yun'er girl, Xiaofeng is so pitiful. Why do you still want her money? You're so stingy. If I could earn money like you, I would definitely not want it. I also think that it's better to forget it. Xiaofeng's family is often so poor that they can't eat. How can they take out 24 copper coins?" Listening to these women's words, Zhao Yun'er only felt that it was ridiculous. It was really easy for them to talk. It was not their money, so they said it so easily. They were really standing on the moral high ground to condemn others. Zhao Yun'er really did not know what to say to this kind of people. Zhao Yun'er hooked up the corner of her mouth and sneered. "Aunties, what you're saying is wrong. It's my business that I have money. It's not easy for anyone to earn money. 24 copper coins is also not a small amount. Why don't I want it? When these big landlords collect the land rent, aren't they very rich? When did they exempt you from the rent?" In ancient times, some people had few fields and could not feed their families. They would rent some fields to farm. However, the rent was really too much. Most of the harvest from 1 mu of land was given to the landlords. They only kept a pitiful small portion and worked themselves to death in a year. But if they did not rent the land, then they would not get any food and would only starve to death. After being refuted by Zhao Yun'er, these people were suddenly speechless. They could only force a few words. It's not the same. How is it not the same? It's not all about money. Ma Xiaofeng looked at the situation. It was useless for others to speak up for her. Zhao Yun'er was really determined to get money. Immediately, he pulled a long face, looking very sad. The people on the ox cart sympathized with Ma Xiaofeng even more. Of all the people he could provoke, he just had to provoke Zhao Yun'er. Even Lu Lei showed a trace of pity, but he couldn't comment. He knew that Zhao Yun'er must have her reasons for doing this. He would not get involved. Lu Lei's pity was caught by Xiao Hong. Xiao Hong quickly jumped out and said, Yun'er, actually, Xiao Feng didn't say that she wouldn't return it to you. Why don't you slow down a little? Little Feng is also quite pitiful. After Xiao Hong said that, the women by the side agreed. Zhao Yun'er glanced at Xiao Hong. She finally knew how to pretend to be kind. I've already extended the deadline for a few days. It's not like I didn't give her a chance. Sigh, Xiao Hong sighed and said, Yun'er, can you not be so overbearing? Where it's possible to let people off, one should forgive them. Why can't you let Xiao Feng off? Zhao Yun'er was not a fool. Xiao Hong was only standing up for Lu Lei to see. This woman disgusted her too much. Zhao Yun'er sneered and stared at Xiao Hong, making Xiao Hong's heart numb. She could only say, then how about this? I'll help Xiao Feng pay the 24 copper coins first. Xiao Feng can return it to me later, so that you won't chase Xiao Feng for it. Chapter 487. Ma Xiaofeng looked at Xiao Hong touched. Sister Hong, I'll definitely return the money to you when I earn it. Xiao Hong smiled and comforted her. It's all right, Xiao Feng. Take your time. I'm not in a hurry. Ma Xiaofeng was even more grateful. When Xiao Hong's behavior was compared to Zhao Yun'er's, there was no doubt that Zhao Yun'er was a very mean person. Zhao Yun'er, here you go. Xiao Hong handed the copper coins over. Zhao Yun'er accepted it without hesitation. She sneered and cursed in her heart. Keep pretending. Let's see how long you can keep pretending. That's fine. Now we're even. I'm leaving. Zhao Yun'er said as she drove her little donkey away. After Zhao Yun'er left, the women in the carriage began to criticize Zhao Yun'er and praise Xiao Hong. After all, Xiao Hong didn't care about money at this time, and helped them, making them feel that Xiao Hong was generous and righteous. Sister Hong, thank you so much. If it weren't for you, my mother would definitely beat you to death. A kind person like you will definitely have good karma. Of course, a person like Hong will definitely have good karma. Whoever marries her will be blessed. Lu Lei, to be honest, that Zhao Yun'er isn't much. She's very mean and her behavior is a little indecent. I just don't know why you can't figure it out. Hong is such a good girl. That's right. It's just marrying into the family. You're the only one in your family. It doesn't matter even if you marry in. These women began to persuade Lu Lei. Lu Lei was very embarrassed and didn't know how to respond. However, Xiao Hong's image in his heart changed a little. He didn't hate her as much. When Zhao Yun'er returned home, Daodu and Zhao Tianfu weren't there. She didn't know where they went. The village was quite lively today. Because the imperial court was opening up a mine, they sent many troops over. There were probably a few hundred people stationed at the foot of the mountain. As the village chief, Li Zheng naturally received these people. The villagers all came over to watch the fun and talk about the reclamation of the iron mine. Opening up a mine was a physical job, so it required manpower. Other than the people sent by the imperial court, they also wanted to recruit more people. Coincidentally, Shuilan village was right next to a mountain. Undoubtedly, it was much more convenient to recruit people from the village. Therefore, many people thought that if they could mine in the mountains, they would definitely earn a lot of money. It was definitely better than farming in the countryside. In addition, with so many people working, it would be good for the little woman to go over and sell some food and drinks. The miners were not criminals. They were free to move around. They worked hard and were very generous with their food. The people from the imperial court set up a stockade at the foot of the mountain and settled down. In addition to the miners, the smelters and weaponsmiths would come one after another. On the way back, Zhao Yun'er heard the women chattering about this matter. He said that it was a good thing for the Shuilan village, and it was also a chance to make a fortune. Zhao Yun'er also heard about the mining from Mu Lianfeng last night. so she wasn't too surprised. Zhao Yin'er first tidied up the things in the house. When lunch was almost ready, she saw an adult and a child walking towards her house. It was Mu Lianfeng and Daodu. Mu Lianfeng held Daoda's hand with a smile on his face. Daoda also grinned, as if he hadn't been so happy in a long time. Chapter 488. I was wondering why you were missing. So you left with your father? Zhao Yin'er said with a smile. Looking at this big and small figure, Zhao Yin'er's mouth also hooked up into a smile. Right now, the three of them looked like a happy family. Daodu ran excitedly to Zhao Yin'er and said, "Yes, mother. Father took Daodu to the foot of the mountain to see the people that father brought over. There are so many of them. Father is so amazing." Daoda's eyes sparkled as he spoke. He looked at Mu Lianfeng with admiration. Mu Lianfeng was probably a great hero in Daoda's heart. In the end, she couldn't be both a father and a mother. Children still hoped to have a father who was as tall as a mountain and as heroic as a hero. Zhao Yin'er patted Daoda's head and said with a smile, "Okay, let's eat quickly." Aha! Daoda raised his little face and smiled sweetly. Zhao Yin'er took out the dishes from the pot and called out to Mu Lianfeng and Daoda to eat. The pork bone soup at noon was fragrant after sprinkling some chopped green onions. The vegetables were crispy and sweet, and after adding 2 drops of sesame oil, it was even more refreshing. There was also a plate of scrambled eggs with chili and a plate of steamed bacon, 3 dishes and a soup. It wasn't very sumptuous, but Mu Lianfeng was drooling. He couldn't wait to eat. Before eating, Zhao Yin'er scooped a bowl of soup for Mu Lianfeng and said to Mu Lianfeng, "Drink some soup first." "Okay." Mu Lianfeng smiled and took it. "Thank you, Yin'er." "You're welcome." Mu Lianfeng took a bite and said with a smile, "Yin'er, your cooking is still the best." A bowl of soup soon entered Mu Lianfeng's stomach. Zhao Yin'er gave Mu Lianfeng another bowl of rice, and Mu Lianfeng wolfed it down. It was as if he hadn't eaten for hundreds of years. In the end, Mu Lianfeng ate a total of 4 or 5 bowls of rice. He didn't stop until all the dishes on his plate were gone. Zhao Yin'er looked at Mu Lianfeng and couldn't help laughing. "How long have you not eaten properly?" Mu Lianfeng elegantly wiped his mouth and said with a smile, "It's true that I haven't eaten before. It's just that other people's food doesn't suit my taste. Yin'er, your cooking is still the best." After hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Zhao Yin'er looked at him carefully and found that he had lost a lot of weight. Zhao Yin'er thought to herself that she had to make some good food for Mu Lianfeng these days to make up for the weight he had lost. Daddy can eat so much. No wonder Daddy is so tall. Daoda should eat more too. You'll grow up to be like Daddy in the future. Daoda hurriedly lowered his head and dug into the rice in his bowl again. He ate a little more than usual. Seeing Daoda like this, Mu Lianfeng's behavior had a great impact on him. Zhao Yin'er suddenly felt that if Mu Lianfeng could stay by Daoda's side all the time, Daoda's personality would also be influenced by Mu Lianfeng and become a brave and righteous person in the future. After Mu Lianfeng finished eating, he said to Zhao Yin'er reluctantly, "Yin'er, I still have work to do. There are a lot of things waiting for me to arrange over there. I'll come back for dinner and accompany you and Daodu in the evening." Zhao Yin'er smiled and nodded. He had his own things to do. She wouldn't be so unreasonable as to ask him to accompany her. "Go ahead. If I have time, I'll bring you some food." Mu Lianfeng's lips curved into a smile. "Okay." Chapter 489. Mulan said, "Yin'er, I heard that the people who came to our mountain to mine are from the imperial court." "Yes. I also heard that it was the crown prince who brought people here." Zhao Yin'er was stunned. How did the news spread so quickly? Everyone knew that Mu Lianfeng was here. Zhao Yin'er nodded and replied, "Yes, the crown prince is here." "Yun, did the crown prince come to look for you?" "Yes, he did." Zhao Yin'er didn't know why Mulan was asking this. She felt a little guilty. Mulan sighed and said, "That's good. Yin'er, it seems that the crown prince is serious about you. It's not easy to find a good man these days. You must cherish him." "I know, sister-in-law Mulan. Brother Eru is not bad either. He's a real man." Mulan smiled shyly at the mention of this. Her man was indeed quite manly. He could protect his child and wife. Moreover, he was quite aggressive at night. During this period of time, she felt that she had become much younger after being nourished. Speaking of which, Zhao Yiner's fish bubbles were still the best. If it weren't for Zhao Yiner frequently sending some over, she wouldn't have dared to make so many fish bubbles after washing them. Otherwise, she would be worried that she wouldn't be able to raise a child if she got pregnant. At the mention of Mu Lianfeng, Liang Jinxiao also started to be concerned. Yiner, didn't you say that there's nothing between you and the crown prince? Why are you now? Mother, it's nothing. We haven't confirmed that we're together. We're dating now, Zhao Yiner replied. I see, Sai. No matter what, if the crown prince takes a fancy to you, it's your fortune. You can even be a concubine. Liang Jinxiao nagged. Zhao Yiner could only agree. However, she knew very well that she wouldn't be a concubine. Yiner girl, are you home? A woman's voice suddenly came from outside the door. Zhao Yiner looked outside. It was Zhao Yiner's eldest grandmother, Madame Hu, who was also Zhao Baoshan's eldest brother's wife. Zhao Yiner frowned slightly. She hadn't interacted with her eldest grandmother for hundreds of years. Why was she here today? Zhao Yiner remembered that in the past few years when the original owner had an accident, her young mistress had scolded her a lot. She felt that she had gotten pregnant before marriage and had embarrassed the entire old Zhao family. Why was she so enthusiastic about coming to her house today? Eldest grandmother, what's the matter? Zhao Yiner asked faintly. Her tone wasn't very pleasant. Madame Hu didn't think much of it and continued to smile warmly at Zhao Yiner. Yiner girl, it's nothing. I just brought you some eggs. They're for you and Dauda to nourish your bodies. As she spoke, Madame Hu handed the basket in her hand to Zhao Yiner. Zhao Yiner saw that there were more than 10 eggs in the basket. Her frown deepened and she directly said, Eldest grandmother, why did you bring me eggs for no reason? I have some at home. It's better for you to keep these good things for yourself. Madame Hu didn't expect Zhao Yiner to refuse without even looking at it. These eggs were a rare thing. Why didn't Zhao Yiner accept it? Madame Hu smiled awkwardly and said, Yiner girl, take it. It's a little token of my appreciation. Zhao Yiner still didn't accept it and said, Eldest grandmother, you must have a reason for bringing these eggs over. If you have something to say, just say it. Chapter 490. Zhao Yiner responded, Go ahead. Yiner, young mistress heard that you have a good relationship with the heir of the crown prince. Today, the heir of the crown prince even came down from the mountain to have lunch with you. Zhao Yiner thought that Madame Hu was well aware of Mu Lianfeng's movements. She reckoned that everyone in the village was secretly paying attention to it. Yes, what's the matter? Madame Hu smiled. It's like this. Yiner, I heard that when the time comes to mine in the mountains, we will need to recruit people from the nearby villages. I reckon that there will be more people going than the people we need to recruit. Your uncles and cousins. I was wondering if you could talk to the heir of the crown prince and arrange for them to work in the mines so that they can earn some money. When Zhao Yiner heard this, she finally understood why Madame Hu had come to her house. Mining in the mountains meant that the government would pay a lot of money every day. The imperial court would naturally treat them well if they worked for the imperial court. For the villagers, this was a good way to earn money. After mining in the mountains, they would probably be able to earn a lot of money. Everyone was fighting for the job, but there were not many people who wanted it. Therefore, they had to think of ways to make connections to ensure that they could get such a good job. However, it was not easy to find connections. Who would know the heir of the crown prince? Not only Zhao Yiner, Madame Hu did not want to have any contact with Zhao Yiner, but she still came for the money. Seeing that Zhao Yiner was silent, Madame Hu asked anxiously, Yiner, can you help me with this? Zhao Yiner smiled coldly and found it a little funny. When she begged her butt was hot. When she did not beg her, she did not think about how she had treated her in the past. Zhao Yiner hated this kind of person the most. Young mistress, it's not good for a woman like me to get involved in this kind of thing. The heir of the crown prince has his own arrangements. Therefore, I can't help you with this matter. When Madame Hu heard Zhao Yiner's words, her face immediately darkened. How can you be like this? He didn't even help his own relatives. Wasn't it just a casual mention in front of the crown prince? Really? Zhao Yin'er found it ridiculous. Was it her fault for not helping? Young mistress, even if I mentioned it casually, it might not be useful. Shitzi doesn't like me asking about his business. Don't make things difficult for me. Zhao Yin'er replied coldly. Madam Hu snorted. What do you mean by not allowing you to meddle in his business? I think the heir doesn't look at you seriously. You can't say anything in front of him. I reckon that she was just toyed with by the crown prince, and was quickly abandoned. Let's see what else you can show off about. Madam Hu's words were said out of anger. She was simply blaming Zhao Yin'er for not helping. Zhao Yin'er curled the corners of her mouth. She was too lazy to argue with Madam Hu over this matter. Young mistress, since you've said so, then I can't help you with this matter. Please go back. Madam Hu angrily glared at Zhao Yin'er. She was still unwilling to give up. If all of their branches were to be arranged into the family, the money they would earn would be enough to buy several mu of land. Then their lives would be much better. Now that the plan was ruined, they did not know how many of them would be selected. After Madam Hu left, Liang Jinxiao sighed and comforted. Your young mistress is like this. Don't lower yourself to her level. Chapter 491. That's good. Actually, everyone in the clan doesn't really like your eldest grandma. Back when your grandmother and eldest grandma were still living in the same house, they quarreled fiercely. When the family split up, your grandfather's branch didn't get anything. Your eldest grandma's branch took everything. So the relationship between our two families isn't very good, Liang Jinxiao said. Zhao Yin'er actually didn't know about this. However, it seemed that Madame Hu and Hu Chunhua were both eccentric people. She didn't know who was more powerful between the two of them. They were probably on par, right? If there was a chance, she would definitely provoke the battle between Madame Hu and Hu Chunhua, and watch the show. Speaking of mining, Zhao Yin'er thought that since they were really recruiting people, she should tell Mu Lianfeng and arrange for her father, fourth uncle, second cousin brother, and Zhu Eru to go. As the saying went, one should keep the goodies within one's own family. If the few of them went, they could more or less earn a little. It would be a little tiring, but it was definitely much better than planting crops in the fields. Thus, she told Mulan and Liang Jinxiao about this. Mulan readily agreed. This was a good opportunity. She saved money from selling breakfast every day. Coupled with the money Zhu Eru earned from mining, they could save up a sum of money to build a house as soon as possible. Liang Jinxiao also nodded in agreement. He felt that this opportunity didn't come easily when everyone was fighting for it. Thinking about it, it's useless for second cousin brother and fourth uncle to work. Didn't they give all the money to grandpa and grandma? Zhao Yin'er suddenly thought of this problem. These two people worked hard for nothing and earned money for the old Zhao family to spend. They hadn't split up yet, so they couldn't keep the money for themselves. Zhao Yin'er thought for a moment and said to Liang Jinxiao, Mother, go back and discuss with grandpa and grandma. If they agree to let second cousin and fourth uncle keep half of the money they earn as pocket money, I can help them to arrange for second cousin and fourth uncle to mine in the mountains. Hu Chunhua would definitely not agree if he did not give her a single cent. Both parties could accept the other half. Liang Jinxiao replied, All right, I'll go back and ask. Throughout the afternoon, there were many people who came to visit, all for the mining business. Zhao Yin'er persuaded them to leave one by one. These people were really annoying. When they didn't ask for her help, they avoided her. When they asked for her help, they were more enthusiastic than the other. Fortunately, she had figured it out during this period of time. As for people who suddenly appeared to curry favor with her, she just ignored them. Liang Jinxiao went back and asked. Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua didn't have any objections. After all, if they didn't agree, they wouldn't be able to earn a single cent. If they agreed, at least old Zhao's family would be able to earn some money. Besides, the other half of the money would still be kept by old Zhao's family and not given to others. Mu Lianfeng came back for dinner and had a little to eat. Zhao Yin'er specially made red braised pork, mapo tofu, meat rolls with eggs, and stir-fried vegetables for Mu Lianfeng. Looking at the sumptuous dishes, Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a blissful smile. It's so good to have a wife. You can eat delicious food. Zhao Yin'er was amused by Mu Lianfeng. She smiled and said, "Of course it's good to have a wife. Someone can cook and warm the bed." As Zhao Yin'er blurted out, Mu Lianfeng's chopsticks paused. He looked at Zhao Yin'er meaningfully. The corners of his mouth curled into a smile as he said, "Since my wife says so, can you warm the bed tonight?" Chapter 492. It's not that cold anymore. Why do you still need someone to warm your bed? But I'm cold. Then I'll let Dowda cover it for you. How can Dowda be as warm as you? Who said that? A child's but has 3 fires. Dowda is definitely much warmer than me. When Zhao Yin'er said this, Mu Lianfeng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. If she wanted to reject him, then so be it. Why did she have to say so much? Looking at Zhao Yin'er's bright red face, Mu Lianfeng felt that Zhao Yin'er was unusually cute. Dowda was eating when he looked up and smiled at Mu Lianfeng. "Daddy, if you're cold, you can sleep in the middle. That way, Dowda and Mommy can warm you up." When Mu Lianfeng heard this, he felt that it was very good and readily agreed. "Haha, my son knows how to dote on his daddy. Then it's decided." Zhao Yin'er only felt that she was once again sold by this precious son of hers. "Mommy, Dowda is full. Can we get some meat to feed Xiao Mao now?" Dowda held the bowl and asked Zhao Yin'er. Zhao Yin'er nodded. "Go ahead." It had been a long time since she fed Xiao Mao meat. Xiao Mao had been working very hard during this period of time, so giving it some meat to eat was considered a reward. "Aha!" Dowda held the small bowl and excitedly went out. Seeing Dowda trotting out, Zhao Yin'er's heart melted. When Dowda left the room, only Zhao Yin'er and Mu Lianfeng were left. The temperature in the air seemed to have risen quite a bit. "Yin'er." Mu Lianfeng stopped eating and muttered as he looked at Zhao Yin'er with some affection. Before Zhao Yin'er could react, Mu Lianfeng kissed her on the cheek. Taking advantage of Dowda's absence, she stole a kiss like a thief. Zhao Yin'er took it out and wiped her face, wiping off a lot of oil stains. She took it to Mu Lianfeng with disgust, and said to Mu Lianfeng with a serious face, "Don't kiss me when I'm eating in the future. Look, it's so oily." Mu Lianfeng smiled helplessly. He only felt that this Zhao Yin'er was even cuter in his heart. Okay. I won't do it again," Mu Lianfeng replied. It was the first time he felt so despised. After lunch, Zhao Yin'er told him about arranging for her father and a few others to go mining. Mu Lianfeng agreed. In addition, he also told Zhao Yin'er that they needed a few women to cook in the mountains and asked if she could arrange for them. Such a large group of people had come over, and they were currently setting up camp in the open space at the foot of the mountain. Many of them were specially sent by the imperial court, and they needed to be taken care of. And these miners would also provide 3 meals. So with so many people eating, at least 4 to 5 women would be needed to cook. Of course, if the women were to come over to cook, they would also be paid. When Zhao Yin'er heard this, she thought of her 4th aunt, Aunt Lu, and Aunt Lu's wives. So she said to Mu Lianfeng, "Then I'll arrange this." "I know who to look for." Mu Lianfeng nodded. "I originally asked Li Zheng to look for this matter. Tell him tomorrow that he doesn't need to help." "Okay. Actually, this was a good job, and she could earn a good salary. Many women could be found in the village, and many of them would fight for it. Since she was asked to make the arrangements, she would privately arrange this good job for someone she was close to." Chapter 493. Mu Lianfeng wasn't around during this period of time, and there was no one to tutor Dowdu. Now that he was back, Dowdu was in high spirits, and he pestered Mu Lianfeng to explain to him. Mu Lianfeng couldn't refuse, so he could only smile and talk about his knowledge. After a while, Dowda was still studying hard, but Mu Lianfeng became anxious. This child wasn't sleeping yet. How could he be intimate with Zhao Yin'er later? Thus Mu Lianfeng asked, "Dowdu, aren't you sleepy? Studying requires a balance between work and rest. Why don't you sleep now?" "Dowdu isn't sleepy." "Father, are you sleepy?" Mu Lianfeng shook his head. "Father isn't sleepy either." "Then father, let's accompany mother for a while. Don't you think so?" Mu Lianfeng's mouth twitched slightly, and he forced a smile. "Dowda seems to be right. Then let's continue studying for a while." Yes. Dowda nodded heavily. Mu Lianfeng was a little distracted. He originally thought that it was good for his son to accompany her, but now he felt that his son was getting in the way. There was only one room here, and Dowda couldn't do anything else. Mu Lianfeng thought for a while, and then said to Zhao Yin'er, "Yin'er, why don't we build a new house? It's too small with only one room, and it's not convenient to live in. Don't you think so?" Zhao Yin'er smiled. "Yes, I also want to build a house. When I have enough money, we can build one." "You want me to wait for you to save enough money? I have some here, why don't you use mine? We can live in a big house earlier, and Dowdu can have his own room in the future. Also, you can build a big house, and let your parents come and live with us. It's better to live together as a family." Mu Lianfeng had a point. It was inconvenient for her mother to travel between her house and old Zhao's house every day. But Mu Lianfeng knew that Zhao Yin'er didn't want to spend his money, so he said, "I'll pay for it first. If you don't think it's good, you can pay me back when you earn more. What do you think?" Zhao Yin'er nodded and said, "That's fine. I'll talk to my mother about building a house later." Mu Lianfeng nodded, looking very happy. Once they had a new house, they wouldn't have to wait for Dowdu to fall asleep every night. Zhao Yin'er didn't know much about building a house. She had no idea how to build it, or how to find the right person. Liang Jinxiao definitely knew more about this than she did. Thinking about building a new house, Zhao Yin'er was still a little excited. After all, this meant that their lives would get better and better. Her shabby straw hut would be extremely cold in winter, and it wouldn't last long. The next morning, Zhao Yin'er left breakfast in the pot for Mu Lianfeng and Dowdu. She specially made soy milk. Both of them had to replenish their nutrition. On the way to Yang City, Mulan kept yawning and had 2 dark circles under her eyes. Hence, she smiled and said to Mulan, "Sister-in-law Mulan, it seems like I can't even give you fish bubbles in the future, lest you can't sleep well every night." Mulan blushed slightly when Zhao Yin'er said that. She said shyly, "Yin'er, I didn't do that with Eru last night." "What's wrong then? Why didn't you sleep well?" Chapter 494. When Zhao Yin'er heard this, she frowned and asked, "Sister-in-law Mulan, could it be that you've met a pervert? Is there really someone watching your house?" When Zhao Yin'er said this, Mulan's heart skipped a beat. It can't be. It's possible. Otherwise, you wouldn't have such a feeling. But who could it be? Who wouldn't sleep in the middle of the night? Mulan was a little puzzled. "Sister-in-law Mulan, how about this? You sleep first tonight. If you find out that someone is watching you, you can get up and sneak a peek. Blow out the lights in the house. Be careful. You might be able to catch them." Mulan felt that Zhao Yin'er's idea was good. Anyway, she had to catch them. Otherwise, she probably wouldn't be able to sleep well after being watched in the future. However, Zhao Yin'er guessed that it was some sort of pervert. After all, there were many perverts in this era. Mulan's brother-in-law was one of them. The person who was sneaking a peek might be Zhu Sanlu. Zhao Yin'er heard from Mulan that after Zhu Sanlu's nether regions were trampled, Mrs. Zhu found a doctor to treat him. Now he was lying in bed half dead. He shouldn't be able to get out of bed now, right? When they arrived at Yang City, the few of them started to sell their food at the stall. Zhao Yin'er's business could be said to be doing better and better. Because of her stall, the other breakfast stalls around her didn't have good business. When Zhao Yin'er came over, the door of the small house that originally had tables and chairs was actually lifted. The tables and chairs inside were also smashed by someone. When Zhao Yin'er and Mulan came over and saw this scene, they were stunned. How could this be? Who the hell did this? She didn't catch them on the spot, so naturally, she didn't know. But these tables and chairs were all smashed. How could she continue to do business? What's going on? Liang Jinxiao frowned and asked. Zhao Yin'er took a look inside. The things inside were not robbed or taken away. They were just damaged. The tables and chairs were missing arms and legs. It was obvious that someone deliberately damaged them. It didn't take much to figure out that only her competitors would do such a thing. It was probably because he saw that her business was too popular and affected other people's businesses. So he got jealous and smashed the tables and chairs in his house. Sigh. Mulan sighed. Isn't this a little too wicked? We didn't do anything bad. Why are you treating us like this? Zhao sighed and looked around carefully. Fortunately, only the tables and chairs were smashed. The pots and other things could still be used. Zhao Yun'er said to Mulan and Liang Jinxiao, "Let's make do with it for now. We'll ask someone to fix the tables and chairs for us later, and replace it with an iron door, so that people can't break it open. We probably can't let the customers sit down and eat today. There are too many people who are jealous. We can't be sure who it is. We didn't catch them, so it's hard to say." Mulan and Liang Jinxiao nodded. They could only do as Zhao Yun'er said. The ingredients for breakfast were all prepared. They couldn't not make breakfast today. The few of them tidied up and started to take care of the stall. Although the customers complained a little, they could understand. After all, it wasn't Zhao Yun'er and the others who wanted it to be like this. With things smashed, they felt worse than anyone else. Because there were no seats, in the end, there were still some things left. Chapter 495. Before she was about to pack up the stall, the man in black who had come to Zhao Yun'er's stall came again. But this time, he came over with a man in his hand. When he arrived at Zhao Yun'er's stall, he directly threw the man over. Zhao Yun'er and the others were slightly stunned, not knowing what the man in black wanted to do. "This is..." Zhao Yun'er looked at the man in black with some confusion. Zhao Yun'er could not see his appearance very clearly, because it was covered by the hat on his head. "The person who smashed your things," the man in black explained, his voice a little cold. Zhao Yun'er naturally did not expect that someone would help her catch the person who smashed her tables and chairs. Looking at the person on the ground, Zhao Yun'er had some impression. He also sold breakfast, not far from her stall. A man in his early 30s, with a somewhat wretched appearance. No wonder he would do things like smashing people's things behind their backs. Zhao Yun'er was still a little confused, and asked the man in black, "How do you know it's him?" "I saw it." "Ah, since you saw it, then there's no doubt it's this person." The man lying on the ground looked at the man in black with some horror, and immediately bowed his head to Zhao Yun'er and admitted his mistake. "Miss, I'm sorry. The things in your house were indeed smashed by me. I just see that your business is too good, and my heart feels uncomfortable. So I promise, I won't dare to do it again. After your tables are repaired, no matter how much money it costs, I'll pay for it." Zhao Yun'er saw that the man on the ground was very cowardly, and his attitude of admitting his mistake was also very sincere. Since he had already said that he would pay for it, she was too lazy to not let it go. So she said, "All right then, I'll let it go this time. If I find out that you're playing tricks next time, I'll definitely not let you off." "Don't worry, miss, I definitely won't. I won't dare to do it again." "All right then, you go back and arrange for someone to repair my table. After it's repaired, this matter will be over." The man hurriedly responded, Okay, miss, don't worry." Zhao Yun'er responded faintly. The man looked at the man in black nervously and asked carefully, Can I go now?" The man in black glanced at him coldly and said, "Get lost." Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but look at the man in black. Why did she feel that his ice-cold appearance was somewhat cool? The man in black also seemed to feel Zhao Yun'er's gaze, and his whole body was somewhat uncomfortable. She said to Zhao Yun'er, "I've found the person who smashed your things. I'm leaving now." "Wait." Zhao Yun'er stopped him. The man in black replied faintly, "Miss, is there anything else?" "Thank you for what happened today. Thank you for helping me catch the person." The man in black replied faintly, "You're welcome. Mistreated me to a meal before, and I have nothing to repay you with. I can only do what I can." Zhao Yun'er smiled. "Then I still have to thank you. I'm leaving first." The man in black didn't dare to look at the smile on Zhao Yun'er's face. "Wait." Zhao Yun'er called out again. As she spoke, she took out a few buns from the steamer, which were not sold out today, and stuffed them into the man in black's hands. "Take these buns and eat them. I didn't sell all of them today. Although they're not worth much, they're quite delicious, and they're filling. Take it as my thanks for helping me today." Chapter 496. He didn't want it at first, but he couldn't resist the temptation of the steamed buns. In the end, he took a bite, Thank you, Mississippi. You're welcome. The man in black took the steamed buns and left. Zhao Yun'er looked at the man's back. No matter how she looked at him, she felt that he wasn't simple. Just now when he caught the man, he was so handsome. He had extraordinary skills and was skilled in martial arts. Zhao Yun'er was curious. How could such a person be so miserable? It was reasonable to say that with his skills, he should be able to earn money, right? Mulan also looked at the man in black and said to Zhao Yun'er, "Yun'er, I didn't expect him to help us." Zhao Yun'er smiled. Give a peach and return a plum. It's not a bad thing to help others. Yun'er, you're right. Let's go. We can pack up and go home. Okay. Zhao Yun'er asked Mulan to bring back some of the leftovers from selling breakfast. After selling breakfast for so long, the children at home didn't eat much. The steamed dumplings and steamed buns overflowed with a strong fragrance. When Zhao Yun'er arrived home, there was a woman guarding the door. Ma Xiaofeng's mother, Qian Chuanxiu, came over. Looking at her angry face, it was obvious that she was here to cause trouble. Sure enough, when Zhao Yun'er's carriage stopped in the yard, Qian Chuanxiu rushed up angrily. Zhao Yun'er wondered if it was because of Ma Xiaofeng's 24 copper coins. Aunt Chuanxiu, I don't know why you came to my house? Zhao Yun'er asked. Zhao Yun'er, you little b***th, you still have the nerve to ask. It's all your fault. What did I do? Aunt, are you talking about the 24 copper coins that Xiaofeng owes me? She had already paid me back, and you can't blame me for this. That's because she spent so much money on my breakfast stall. Isn't it wrong for you to come looking for trouble with me? After Zhao Yun'er said this, Qian Chuanxiu was stunned. What? Xiaofeng actually owed Zhao Yun'er 24 copper coins? When had this wretched lass not mentioned this to her? And when did he return it? Where did the money come from? Qian Chuanxiu suddenly remembered that her daughter had been selling vegetables in Yang City all day. Could it be that she had taken the money from her earnings? Thinking of this, Qian Chuanxiu became even angrier. That damned girl actually learned to do this kind of thing. She would definitely beat her to death later. I'm not talking about that. If it's not about that, then why did Auntie come here? Zhao Yun'er frowned again. She couldn't figure it out. Zhao Yun'er, why are you so vicious at such a young age? It's already not easy for me, a widow, to raise 2 children. It wasn't easy for Li Zheng to sympathize with me. Yesterday, he recommended me to cook for the miners. Today, he suddenly said that he couldn't do it anymore. Master Shitzi arranged for you to recommend someone. I'm almost out of rice at home. Don't you think that you're deliberately forcing me to my death? Qian Chuanxiu cried loudly, and immediately attracted the attention of others. Many villagers who wanted to join in the fun gathered around. When they heard Qian Chuanxiu's words, they began to sympathize with her. It's not easy for Aunt Qian. Her family doesn't have any fields, and she still has to raise 2 children. It's not easy for her to come across an opportunity to earn money. It's good to let her go. Sigh, didn't Lord Li Jing think of her? Who doesn't have difficulties in the village? Her family's life is the most difficult in our village. Chapter 497. In the end, it's all because of Zhao Yun'er. If she hadn't wanted to share the benefits with her family, sister-in-law Chuanxiu wouldn't have ended up like this. That's why I say that some people are so vicious and inhumane. What can we do? She's related to the heir. Most of these women who were scolding Zhao Yun'er were the ones who had asked for help yesterday, but were rejected by Zhao Yun'er. Now they could hit her while she was down. Zhao Yun'er coldly swept a glance at Qian Chuanxiu, who was causing trouble. Indeed, only a weirdo like Qian Chuanxiu could give birth to a daughter like Ma Xiaofeng. Both mother and daughter had their own unique characteristics. Before Zhao Yun'er could say anything to Qian Chuanxiu, Mu Lianfeng came back holding Daoda's little hand and spoke in a cold voice. I'd like to know who's causing trouble. If there's anything, you can talk to me directly. Everyone's gaze fell on Mu Lianfeng. Qian Chuanxiu sniffled and started to kneel in front of Mu Lianfeng to complain tearfully. She was simply saying that she was poor and that it wasn't easy to raise 2 children. After Qian Chuanxiu finished crying, Mu Lianfeng said indifferently, So? Heir. So shouldn't the heir take pity on her and ask her to cook? Shouldn't he give her such a good job? Your Highness. I want to cook. Please give me a chance. Why should I give you a chance? Or rather, what right do you have to negotiate with me? Because I'm poor, Mu Lianfeng sneered. This is the reason why you're here to cause trouble for Yin? Just because you're poor, I have to give you this opportunity? If we're talking about the hardships of life, I'm afraid that Yin has had it even harder than you over the past few years. However, Yin relied on her own two hands to make her life better and better. Remember, opportunities are not given to you by others. You create them yourself. Since you feel that you're poor, you should work hard to change the situation, instead of finding trouble with Yuner like you did. Since everyone is here, then this heir will make things clear. This heir will be in Shuilan village for the next few days. If anyone comes to Yuner to be picky about food, then don't blame this heir for being impolite. After Mu Lianfeng finished speaking, Qian Chuanxiu was dumbfounded. The surrounding women didn't even dare to fart. Who would dare to provoke Mu Lianfeng? Zhao Yuner stood on Mu Lianfeng and stared at the man standing in front of her. It was so nice to have him by her side. He spoke in an orderly manner that no one could refute. Zhao Yuner never thought that her man would be so outstanding. With Mu Lianfeng's protection, there would be a lot less trouble around her in the future. At this time Ma Xiaofeng came over. When she heard Mu Lianfeng's words, she helped Qian Chuanxiu up and advised, "Mother, let's go. Don't provoke the heir apparent. Otherwise, we won't be able to bear the consequences." Qian Chuanxiu was already in a bad mood. When she saw Ma Xiaofeng, she remembered that Ma Xiaofeng owed Zhao Yuner 24 copper coins. She immediately started scolding and beating Ma Xiaofeng. "You wretched girl. When did you owe someone 24 copper coins? You didn't even tell me." Ma Xiaofeng's braids were grabbed by Qian Chuanxiu, and she started shouting in pain. "Mother, it hurts. Let go." In fact, Ma Xiaofeng didn't just feel pain. It was also because Qian Chuanxiu hit her in front of so many people, which made her lose face. Chapter 498. As Qian Chuanxiu spoke, she slapped Ma Xiaofeng's face. Ma Xiaofeng cried out in pain. "Mother, don't hit me anymore. It hurts. Sister Xiaohong lent me this money to repay my debt." "Then don't you owe Xiaohong that girl money now? You wretched girl. You actually spent 24 copper coins. See if I don't beat you to death." Qian Chunhua directly picked up the stick on the ground and whipped Ma Xiaofeng's body. Ma Xiaofeng's arm was covered in red marks. Seeing Ma Xiaofeng like this, Zhao Yuner suddenly understood why Ma Xiaofeng was so scared. This Qian Chuanxiu was completely perverted. Her own daughter was already so old, yet she still hit her like this. The surrounding people couldn't stand it anymore and advised, "Enough, sister-in-law Chuanxiu. Xiaofeng didn't owe so much money on purpose. Did someone deliberately make Xiaofeng owe so much money? Even if you hit her like this, she won't be able to get so much money." These words also implied that it was all Zhao Yuner's fault. "That's right, sister-in-law Chuanxiu. Xiaofeng is usually quite sensible. You can't hit her just because of this matter. Sister-in-law Chuanxiu, forget it. Don't hit her anymore. She's already so old. She'll feel bad if she gets hit." Qian Chuanxiu was persuaded. Although she stopped, she still said this angrily. "I don't know if it's because I did too many bad things in my previous life that I gave birth to such a money-losing thing in this life." "Whoa, Ma Xiaofeng lowered her head and cried. "Hurry up and go back." Qian Chuanxiu scolded. Ma Xiaofeng left with Qian Chuanxiu, feeling aggrieved. Before she left, she glared at Zhao Yuner hatefully. The noisy scene in front of the door began to calm down again. Zhao Yuner breathed a sigh of relief. She was troubled by trivial matters every day. When would there be no more weirdos? Sigh. Zhao Yuner sighed and began to move the things into the house. Mu Lianfeng hurried forward and said, "Yuner, let me do it. You've been busy enough this morning." Zhao Yuner glanced at the tall man. Was he feeling sorry for her? "All right, you do it." Yeah. Mu Lianfeng neatly unloaded the things from the car. He didn't expect him to be so good at such menial work. "Yuner, I wasn't by your side in the past, and I made you suffer. With me around in the future, I will never let anyone bully you." Mu Lianfeng seemed to be making a promise to both Zhao Yuner and himself. And Zhao Yuner responded. In fact, he didn't need to say these things. She already knew in her heart. Zhao Yuner rested for a while before preparing to cook. Mu Lianfeng also followed in. Yuner, can you teach me how to cook? Zhao Yuner thought she heard wrong. What did this guy say? Teach him how to cook. You want to learn how to cook? Yes. Mu Lianfeng nodded heavily and said, Yuner, when I learn how to cook, I can cook for you. Now that I know how to make a fire, it won't take long to learn how to cook. When the time comes, you can rest and I'll do all the cooking. Mu Lianfeng said as he looked at Zhao Yuner with eyes full of tenderness. Zhao Yuner couldn't describe her feelings at this moment. For a man of Mu Lianfeng's status, it was good enough that he wasn't served by others, but he was actually serving others for her. Chapter 499. Zhao Yuner also knew that only when a man loved a woman deeply would he be like this. Men in this era basically did not touch the kitchen. They felt that cooking was something that only women would do. Even a man like Zhu Eru, who was good to Mulan, had never thought of cooking for Mulan. Mu Lianfeng saw that Zhao Yuner did not say anything and thought that Zhao Yuner did not agree. So he continued, Yuner, teach me. I promise that I will learn quickly. Zhao Yuner was amused by Mu Lianfeng. Are you sure you want to learn? Yes. Mu Lianfeng nodded heavily. Then it's a deal. If I learn how to cook, I may not cook often and leave it to you. Do you still want to learn now? Mu Lianfeng still agreed without hesitation. Of course learn. Yuner. Then you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Leave it to me. In the future, I will cook for you Daodu for the rest of your life. Zhao Yuner's mouth raised a happy smile and said with a smile, Haha, that's good. Then I will teach you. In the future, I will leave the cooking to you. In the future, you will be a house husband. Mu Lianfeng suddenly found it difficult to understand what a house husband meant. He asked doubtfully, Yuner, what is a house husband? Zhao Yuner also found it difficult to explain, so she smiled and said, It means that in the future, I will be responsible for earning money to support the family, and you will be responsible for being as beautiful as a flower. You will take care of the chores at home. You will be my little wife. Mu Lianfeng smiled awkwardly at Zhao Yuner's words. Yuner, I am a man. How can I be a little wife? A little wife does not refer to a woman, but to a woman who plays the role of a woman in the family. Okay then. But you can't let others know about this. Only we can know. Haha, Zhao Yuner was in a good mood. She didn't know how her relationship with Mu Lianfeng had suddenly become so close. He could actually joke around so casually. In the kitchen, Zhao Yuner began to teach Mu Lianfeng how to cook. Mu Lianfeng also learned quickly. After Zhao Yuner demonstrated a few times, he also sat up. Perhaps it was because Mu Lianfeng had been practicing martial arts for a long time, but he was better at cutting vegetables than Zhao Yuner. His knife skills were simply extraordinary. The meal was cooked under the joint efforts of the two people, and they ate it with incomparable sweetness. After lunch, Mu Lianfeng went to the foot of the mountain again. Yuner, I might not be able to come back for dinner tonight. There are a lot of things I have to deal with over there. Zhao Yuner nodded and said, It's okay. Go ahead and do your work. I will bring you dinner. Isn't that too troublesome? It's not troublesome. Okay then. Yuner, I will wait for your dinner. Zhao Yuner smiled and nodded. Okay. In the afternoon, Liang Jinxiao came to help. Zhao Yuner told her about arranging for her fourth aunt, and Aunt Lu to help cook. Liang Jinxiao felt that this was a good thing. If she didn't help Zhao Yuner take care of the stall, she also wanted to go. Mother, I want to build a house. In the future, you and father can move out and live there. When she heard Zhao Yuner say that she wanted to build a house, Liang Jinxiao knew that such a day would come, but she didn't expect it to be so early. Chapter 500. In terms of money, Zhao Yuner was not worried. No matter how expensive it was, it would not exceed 100 taels of silver. Mu Lianfeng directly gave her 200 taels of silver this time. In addition to building a house, it was also enough for her to buy some furniture. Mother, it's fine. Let's build a brick house. This time, let's build a bigger house. Everyone in our family will have a room to live in. Moreover, Tianan and Tianfu will grow up, get married and have children. If we don't build a bigger house, It won't be enough for them to live in. It's best if we can build a dozen rooms and make it into a big courtyard. Yin'er, you're really thinking far ahead. If we build such a big brick house, it probably won't be enough without 40 to 50 taels of silver. Mother, you don't have to worry about the money. I have enough here. That's good. Then I'll go back and talk to your father. When we build a big house, we have to buy the foundation first. Zhao Yin'er nodded in agreement. She did not know much about building a house, so she could only leave it to her parents. However, Zhao Yin'er knew that with her parents around, these things could be done well. Although Zhao Wenhua's personality was a little weak, she was good at doing things. Okay. After preparing breakfast and other things, Zhao Yin'er first went to Auntie Lu and told her. The cooking work had to be done tomorrow. These few days, the workers were eating the food sent by the villagers. Auntie Lu was very grateful to Zhao Yin'er for thinking about her. Her family could not do without a woman to take care of it, so she arranged for a daughter-in-law to stay behind. She was going to go with another daughter-in-law. The daughter-in-law was Lu Shan's wife, Madame Zhou. The reason why Madame Zhou stayed behind was to let Madame Zhou cook. On the other hand, Madame Zhou was pregnant again. It was only slightly more than a month, so her belly did not show. The villagers were poor. Even if a woman was pregnant, it was not that precious. It was not to the extent of not working and lying in bed. On the contrary, most pregnant women would work until a few days before giving birth. It was definitely easier to arrange for Madame Zhou to cook 3 meals at home than for hundreds of people. Speaking of Madame Zhou's pregnancy, Auntie Lu sighed and said, I just don't know if my eldest daughter-in-law is pregnant with a daughter. What if it's a daughter again? I haven't had a grandson yet. Zhao Yin'er sighed in her heart. This Auntie Lu really had a soft spot for her grandson. It seemed that if her 2 daughters-in-law didn't give birth to a boy, she would always be brooding. Zhao Yin'er smiled and comforted her. This baby will definitely be a boy. Really? Yin'er, how did you know? Auntie Lu, don't worry. What will come will come. Your family is so nice. There will be a boy. Hearing Zhao Yin'er's words, Auntie Lu was in a good mood. She laughed and said, Yin'er girl, you really know how to talk. If it's a boy, I'll definitely treat you to a meal. Zhao Yin'er laughed twice. In fact, she did not understand why the ancient people were so keen on having a boy. They probably did not know how much pressure a boy in the 21st century had on his family. Getting married, buying a house. They were just pursuing a child to carry on the family line. But there were so many people. If you didn't give birth, there would be other people to give birth to. There would not be a time when they would perish. On her way back from Auntie Lu's place, Zhao Yin'er thought that she was still short of 2 people. Who should she arrange? Who were the good people in this village? Chapter 501. One was Zhao Yin'er's 4th daughter-in-law Nian. Zhao Yin'er didn't care about what happened last time. In fact, Nian was a good person. After that, she felt sorry for Zhao Yin'er, so she came over to make trouble. From time to time, she would send some vegetables over. She didn't send expensive things, but after all, they were friends. In addition, Nian was a simple-minded person. She wasn't calculative and was very hardworking. It was more practical to assign someone like her to work. There were also 2 other women in the village. They didn't gossip before. Although they were a little dull, they were more diligent in their work. It was said that they were good at cooking. As soon as Zhao Yin'er arrived home, Zhao Tianfu ran over to Zhao Yin'er and said, Second sister, go to Grandma's place. Zhao Yin'er saw that Zhao Tianfu came to see her, so she asked, Tianfu, what's the matter? Sister, that matchmaker is here again. Zhao Tianfu whispered. They are now discussing eldest sister's marriage. You should go and listen. Zhao Yin'er smiled. It turned out that her brother wanted her to go and join in the fun. So she said, Okay, I'll go and have a look. She wanted to know how Zhao Pinger's marriage was going to be, and what kind of husband matchmaker Gao had found. So she followed Zhao Tianfu to old Zhao's house. Several women in old Zhao's family were in the yard, surrounding matchmaker Gao. Li Chuiying in particular had a smile on her face and looked very happy. If she couldn't control her smile, her mouth would probably split open. When Zhao Yin'er went over, She found out that the reason why Li Chuiying was so happy was that matchmaker Gao had helped Zhao Yun find a good marriage. The man was from the town. His family ran a small business. He was the youngest son in the family, so he was very precious. According to matchmaker Gao's description, the man was good-looking and had good conditions. Matchmaker Gao was just right to find a marriage for the two of them, so she brought the two of them together. As for whether the two sides were satisfied or not, they had to meet again and confirm it. If they all agreed, then they could discuss the marriage. Even so, Li Chuiying was still very happy. After all, she had confidence in Zhao Jing'er. Her daughter was so pretty. How could he not be satisfied? Matchmaker Gao, thank you so much. Thanks to you, my daughter can find such a good marriage. Matchmaker Gao smiled and waved her hand. It's okay, it's okay. This is what I should do. It's good that you're all satisfied. Yes, of course, Li Chuiying said with a smile. This was something that many people wished for. If her daughter could really marry into the town, who knew how many people in the village would be envious? If Zhao Jing'er could really marry into a rich family in town, she would also enjoy a good life in the future. Matchmaker Gao, what about my Pinger? What do you think? Do you have a place for my family? At the mention of Zhao Ping, Matchmaker Gao chuckled and said, she's settled, she's settled. Liang Jinxiao was a little excited. Really? Of course it's true. Why are we still talking about you? Liang Jinxiao was usually calm, but today he was excited. After all, his eldest daughter's marriage was what worried him the most. If it was settled, he really had nothing to worry about in the future. Chapter 502. Matchmaker Gao said, this family lives in Changshu village, but they are indeed a little poor. I have to explain this to you clearly. I can't cheat you. Liang Jinxiao nodded. He felt that since Matchmaker Gao had said this to him, it meant that she was quite honest. It's okay, Matchmaker Gao. Tell me more about him. Okay. Matchmaker Gao then told him about the man's situation. The man's family was relatively simple. They only had 2 brothers. The old couple were quite good people. They were kind and honest. Their family was too poor. They only had 1 mu of paddy land, and had to rent land and harvest crops to support their family. It was precisely because their family was too poor that his 2 sons did not marry. How could a girl from such an ordinary family be willing to marry into their family? This time, Matchmaker Gao also told the man that Zhao Ping'er was not very good looking. However, the other party said that a woman's appearance was not important as long as she could bear children. It was only then that Matchmaker Gao started to introduce the marriage proposal. After Liang Jinxiao heard about the man's situation, he felt that it was acceptable. It was fine if he was a little poor, as long as he could treat Ping'er well. Moreover, when Zhao Ping'er married into their family, she could get more dowry and help the man's family buy a few mu of paddy land. Naturally, their life would not be so difficult. It's okay, Matchmaker Gao. It's already very good. The conditions are not important. I'll arrange for the 2 children to meet later and see if they are suitable for each other. Liang Jinxiao said. Matchmaker Gao agreed with a smile. Okay then. She and I are from the same village and don't live far from my house. I can send a message when I go back today. You can tell me where to meet. I'll just inform their family. That's great. Since they want to meet, let's do it as soon as possible. Why don't we send them to Sun City tomorrow morning? The 2 children can walk around and chat for a while. If they come to my house and we adults gather together, it won't be easy for them to chat. Matchmaker Gao nodded with a smile and said, Okay. I'll go back and tell their family. It's good to meet as soon as possible. If this one isn't suitable, I can help you arrange something else. Liang Jinxiao felt that Matchmaker Gao's words made sense. Alright, it's settled then. Matchmaker Gao, thank you for your hard work. Haha, no trouble at all. Wait a moment, I'll go get you 10 eggs. You can take them back to eat. There's nothing good at home. Matchmaker Gao was just being polite and didn't reject her. Liang Jinxiao turned around and went into the house to get some eggs. When Li Chuiying saw that Liang Jinxiao had taken the money and even introduced such a good marriage to his family, he couldn't refuse. She begged Hua Chunhua for a long time before Hua Chunhua agreed to give her 10 eggs. Zhao Ping's face was also full of joy. After hearing matchmaker Gao's words, it meant that there was hope for her to get married. Just thinking about it made her excited. Zhao Ping was more concerned about the man's appearance. After all, Zhao Yin'er had found Mu Lianfeng. He was so tall and handsome, so she couldn't find someone too shabby. It was fine if he was poor, but he had to be good-looking. Otherwise, if she had a child with a man in the future, and she was so ugly, wouldn't the child be even uglier? In order not to affect the next generation, she had to find someone who was slightly better looking. Chapter 503. She looked at Zhao Ping's shy girlish demeanor. Matchmaker Gao had been a matchmaker for so many years. How could she not know what girls were thinking? Many girls cared more about the man's appearance. Hence she smiled and replied, "Don't worry, Mississippi. I've seen him before. He's good-looking. He's fair and clean, and he's a handsome young man." Upon hearing matchmaker Gao's words, Zhao Ping looked forward to it even more. She couldn't wait to meet the man. "That's good." Zhao Ping lowered her head and tugged at her handkerchief. Zhao Yin'er watched Zhao Ping from the side and couldn't help but want to laugh. Zhao Ping was really funny. Those who didn't know better would think that she was desperate for a man. Look at how thirsty she was. Zhao Yin'er thought that it would be best if this marriage could be consummated. This way, Zhao Ping would be able to get married smoothly. She hoped that when they met tomorrow, both parties would be satisfied. Liang Jinxiao and Li Chuiying took out the eggs and handed them to matchmaker Gao. Matchmaker Gao didn't continue to waste time at old Zhao's house. Instead, she bid farewell and said, "I've already brought the news for you. I'll go back first." Okay. Take care, matchmaker Gao." "Oh, it's okay. You don't have to send me off." Old Zhao's people came back after sending matchmaker Gao out of the courtyard. In the courtyard, Zhao Ping and Zhao Jing were immersed in happiness. Zhao Yin'er went forward and said with a smile, "Sister Ping, Sister Jing, congratulations." Zhao Ping was in a good mood, so she didn't quarrel with Zhao Yin'er. She smiled and replied, "Thank you, Sister Yin'er." Zhao Jing said, "Sister Yin'er, thank you for your blessings." "You're welcome. This is a happy occasion. I'm happy for you too." Yes. Zhao Xinhui, who was sitting in the courtyard, was not as happy. She didn't expect that an ugly monster like Zhao Ping would have a chance to get married. And Zhao Jinger had found a good family. She, on the other hand, was not young anymore, but her marriage was not settled at all. It would be a lie to say that he wasn't anxious. It was just that she had high standards, unlike Zhao Ping, who could make do with any man. She wouldn't be like Zhao Jinger, who was overjoyed by the people in the town. Even if she did not want to marry someone like Mu Lianfeng, she had to at least be someone important. Seeing Zhao Xinhui's unhappy look, Hua Chunhua began to pick on the second and third branches, trying to comfort Zhao Xinhui. "What are you so happy about? Second daughter-in-law, you wasted 10 eggs. And third daughter-in-law, this matchmaker already said that the family is poor, but you actually agreed. Just wait for Ping to marry over and suffer hardships. Don't come back crying when the time comes." After hearing Hua Chunhua's words, Liang Jinxiao and Li Chuiying's expressions turned ugly. Li Chuiying still smiled embarrassedly and said fawningly, "Mother, you can't say that. If Jing can marry over, the family is well-to-do, and they will definitely send us a lot of money as wedding gifts." Hua Chunhua snorted softly. "Whether this will happen or not is still uncertain. Let's wait until Jing marries over before we celebrate. Third daughter-in-law is raising a good-for-nothing. The man's family is poor and probably can't afford a single cent as a wedding gift. They will probably have to pay for it. Originally it was a good thing, and everyone was happy. However, after Hua Chunhua's interference, the joyous atmosphere suddenly disappeared." Chapter 504. Zhao Ping and Zhao Jing were so angry at Hua Chunhua that they went back to their own rooms. Liang Jinxiao couldn't say anything to Hua Chunhua. She could say whatever she wanted, as long as she was satisfied with him. Zhao Yin followed them into the room of the third branch. "Mother, don't take grandmother's words to heart. She just can't bear to see others doing well. She's probably upset because Auntie can't get married. Hearing Zhao Yiner's words, Zhao Ping'er agreed. That's right, that must be it. Grandmother is jealous. Auntie is probably having a harder time getting married than me. She's too arrogant and thinks too highly of herself. Then don't think about what your grandmother said. Ping, dress up well tomorrow and see if the man is suitable for you. Speaking of this, Zhao Ping'er shyly lowered her head and made a sound of acknowledgement. Mother, I know. I'll wear the new clothes you made for me tomorrow. Liang Jinxiao laughed and said, Okay. Liang Jinxiao made clothes for Zhao Ping, with the bolt of cloth he bought from Yang City. Zhao Ping, only tried it on once before taking it off and putting it aside, waiting to wear it on the day of the blind date. She thought that she would have to wait for a while longer, but she didn't expect it to happen so soon. Mother, do you think he'll like me? Zhao Ping'er asked shyly. Of course he will. Didn't he say that he doesn't have any requirements for looks? Those who are poor will be satisfied as long as they get a wife. Ping'er, don't worry. Yes, yes. Looking at Zhao Ping'er's eager expression, Zhao Yiner couldn't help but laugh. What are you laughing at? Zhao Ping'er asked, thinking that Zhao Yiner was laughing at her. Zhao Yiner hurriedly said, Sister Ping'er, I'm just happy for you. I don't mean anything else. Zhao Ping, wasn't sure if Zhao Yiner was really laughing at her, so she had to give up and didn't argue with Zhao Yiner. Before Zhao Yiner left, she was stopped by Hu Chunhua. Several men from old Zhao's family had also returned from their work in the fields. Grandma, what's the matter? Zhao Yiner asked. As for Zhao Yiner, Hu Chunhua became polite. Yiner, I have something to discuss with you. If there's anything you want to say, just say it. I'll listen. That. Yiner, since you arranged for your fourth uncle to mine and your fourth aunt to cook, there are still people in old Zhao's family. Can you see if you can get your eldest uncle and second uncle, as well as your eldest aunt and second aunt to work in the fields? Our family can make more money. Zhao Yiner frowned. She knew that Hu Chunhua didn't want to talk to her about anything good. This person was really obsessed with making money. It was good to make more money. Zhao Yiner replied. Grandma, if they all go, who will do the housework? Who will cook? And old Zhao's family has a lot of fields. Someone has to take care of the fields. After hearing Zhao Yiner's words, Hu Chunhua thought that it was true. But when she thought of the money, she felt a little reluctant. I'll do the housework in the future. I can also cook the rice. Your youngest aunt and eldest cousin-in-law can help. As for the work in the fields, I still have your grandpa. I can handle it. After hearing Hu Chunhua's words, Shin Pan'er finally lost her composure. She was most afraid of doing housework. Chapter 505. She didn't know how to cook either. She had never learned to cook, and she couldn't stand the greasy feeling in the kitchen, so it was really difficult for her to do housework. However, she couldn't say no. She could only persuade Hu Chunhua not to let all the women in the family work at the mine. Grandmother, you're already so old. How can your body withstand so much torment? You should rest well at home. You haven't done any housework for so many years. If you suddenly do it, your body won't be able to withstand it. For the sake of your health, it's better not to do anything, Shin Pan'er said. Hu Chunhua was touched when she saw that Shin Pan'er was worried about her. She praised Shin Pan'er for being filial. Then I'll have to trouble you, Hui and Jing, to do this work in the future. Hui has never done anything before. I don't know if she knows how to do it. She'll learn from you when the time comes, Hu Chunhua said bluntly. Shin Pan'er's mouth twitched. She wanted to die. She only felt that she had dug a hole, and was jumping into it. Zhao Xinhui pouted and said, No, I won't do it. Let Pan'er and the others do it. Shin Pan'er was stunned. Throw it to her? Old Zhao's family must be dreaming. At this time, she had to find an excuse. Hence she said, Grandmother, I'm afraid I don't have much time to do it. Yang is still young. I can't leave him. I have to take care of him every day. This child doesn't want anyone else to take care of him. He just wants to stick to me. Let my mother stay. Don't let her cook at the mine. How could Hu Chunhua bear to give up? Grandmother, to be honest, the people in the mine have already been confirmed. It's already not easy for me to get fourth sister-in-law in. If they were all old Zhao's people, They would be criticized to death. Also, there's too much work in the fields. My grandfather can't handle it alone. He has to leave eldest uncle and second uncle to help. Wu Chunhua wanted to say something, but she was interrupted by Zhao Baoshan. Zhao Baoshan said, I think Yin is right. Not everyone in the family can go to the mines, and the harvest from the fields is still needed. Wu Chunhua had no choice but to give up. All right then. Since you've said so, what else can I say? What a pity. If more people from our family go, we can make a lot of money. Shin Panner finally breathed a sigh of relief. Now she didn't have to do any housework. After dealing with old Zhao's family, Zhao Yin'er went to talk to Nianxi about cooking. Nianxi was overjoyed. At the same time, she felt even more guilty towards Zhao Yin'er. Zhao Yin'er treated her so well, but she actually misunderstood her before. She was really too heartless. He had to make up for it in the future. The other reason why Madame Nian was so happy was that she and Zhao Si had separated from the family and were living independently. The money they earned was theirs, and they didn't need to share it with the other families. Sister-in-law, if there's nothing else, I'll leave first. Zhao Yin'er said goodbye. After all, she had to go back to cook. She would send it to Mu Lianfeng later. Yes, go back. Yin'er, I know you're busy. Zhao Yin'er smiled, then turned and left. Watching Zhao Yin'er leave, Nianxi and Zhao Si sighed and said, actually, Yin'er is pretty good. Zhao Si said, she's pretty good. Just listen to the rumors in the village. We can only know how a person is after we get to know them. Don't believe what others say. Chapter 506. Yeah, I used to play with Yin'er a lot when I was young. She's the kindest girl in my family. Although she got pregnant before marriage, I think there must be a reason. We don't know the situation, so it's hard to say. Speaking of this, Nianxi asked curiously, father of the child, whose child do you think Yin'er is pregnant with? Is it Prince Shizi's? I'm not sure. Daodu and Prince Shizi look quite alike. If Daodu is really Prince Shizi's child, there's one thing I don't understand. Why did Prince Shizi let Yin'er suffer alone with the child for a few years? Zhao Si shook his head. I don't know about that. Maybe there's a reason. We don't know what exactly it is, so we can't guess. Nianxi sighed. I just hope this child is really Prince Shizi's. If that's the case, Yin'er is really lucky. Okay. It didn't take long for Zhao Yin'er to finish cooking. She made a dish of steamed fish head with diced hot red peppers. She bought the fish head from Yang City and brought it back. Mulan asked for the fish body and the fish bubbles. Zhao Yin'er and Mulan saw an old man guarding a stall for a long time. He didn't have much business, so they went over to take care of him and bought one. People in this era probably didn't eat steamed fish head with diced hot red peppers in this way. In ancient times, people in the countryside didn't pay much attention to cooking. Basically, they only put some oil and salt. There wasn't much seasoning at all. She had stayed in Prince Shizi's mansion for a few days. They were quite well behaved when cooking. They didn't put much seasoning. The fish was basically braised, steamed or stewed. This steamed fish head with diced hot red peppers was perfect for Mu Lianfeng to try. Zhao Yin'er made a bowl of meat soup and a bowl of stir-fried shredded potatoes. She ate a little with Daodu at home, then walked to the foot of the mountain with the lunchbox. Zhao Yin'er didn't have time to see what had changed at the foot of the mountain. This was her first time here. There was a large open space at the foot of the mountain. The branches were all cut down, and many tents were set up. Among these tents, there was one that was the most luxurious. Zhao Yin'er didn't have to think about it. That must be where Mu Lianfeng was staying. At this time, there were quite a few people moving about. They gathered together, piled up torches, set up pots, and cooked their own food. Zhao Yin'er walked to the front of Mu Lianfeng's tent and called out. After confirming that it was Mu Lianfeng, she walked in. Mu Lianfeng was writing and drawing on a piece of paper. He only put down his pen when Zhao Yin'er came over. Are you hungry? Zhao Yin'er asked. Mu Lianfeng stretched his nose and sniffed. He smiled and said, actually I wasn't hungry, but after smelling your food I'm hungry. Zhao Yin'er's lips curled into a smile. Since you're hungry, then eat. I made a few dishes for you. Eat them while they're hot. Mu Lianfeng nodded. Okay. He couldn't wait to open the lunchbox. When he saw the dishes inside, the smile on his face deepened. Yunner, you're so good to me. These dishes look delicious. Try the fish head. How does it taste? Mu Lianfeng nodded. Okay. As he spoke, he picked up his chopsticks and took a bite. He praised. Yunner, it's really delicious. I've never eaten fish head like this. It's spicy, but it's very flavorful. Of course. How can my food not be delicious? I'm afraid that other than me, no one else can think of this method. Chapter 507. Mu Lianfeng sighed in his heart. There were so many women in the world, but there were very few who were as special as Zhao Yunner. Hurry up and eat, Zhao Yunner said with a smile. Okay. Zhao Yunner brought a lot of rice over, and Mu Lianfeng finished it all together with the food. Looking at Mu Lianfeng's appetite, Zhao Yunner didn't know what to say. She could only be glad that she could earn some money now, otherwise, she wouldn't be able to support Mu Lianfeng. After Mu Lianfeng was full, he elegantly wiped his mouth, and looked like he hadn't had enough. Yunner, it's so delicious. Aren't you afraid that you'll get fat from eating like this? Will I get fat from eating? If you continue eating like this, why won't you? Yunner, then you're afraid that I'll get fat. Of course, you won't look good if you get fat. Then Yunner, do you mind that I'm not good looking? Zhao Yunner thought for a moment and said honestly, it's impossible to say that I don't mind. How many women don't like handsome men? As Zhao Yunner said this, she couldn't help but lift Mu Lianfeng's chin with her hand. She stared at Mu Lianfeng's face, and then clicked her tongue in admiration. What's more, this face is so handsome. In the 21st century, it's simply enough to charm thousands of girls. I think he's more handsome than Liang Chaowei and Takeshi Kaneshiro. Zhao Yunner's teasing trick was used to playing with the fresh meat in the office, and she accidentally used it on Mu Lianfeng again. In Mu Lianfeng's eyes, it was Zhao Yunner who was teasing him. Therefore, he pulled Zhao Yunner over, and Zhao Yunner fell into Mu Lianfeng's arms. Mu Lianfeng sat on the chair, and Zhao Yunner naturally sat on Mu Lianfeng's lap. Mu Lianfeng's sudden movement made Zhao Yunner cry out in surprise. Shu Yunner, don't let the people outside hear us. Only then did Zhao Yunner lower her voice. Mu Lianfeng came over and hugged Zhao Yunner tightly. Just as he was about to kiss Zhao Yunner, a man suddenly entered the tent. Master, I'm here, Mo Yin said. As soon as he entered the room, he was shocked by the scene in the room. This. He probably hasn't seen it before. His master actually had such a flirtatious side, flirting with women like this? Originally, he thought that Mu Lianfeng was an ignorant person. Even if he liked women, he wouldn't do anything to them. However, this somewhat overturned his thoughts. It was completely different from the aloof image he had imagined. Then he looked at the girl in his master's arms. Wasn't this girl? When Mo Yin saw Zhao Yunner, she was slightly surprised. Before Mo Yin could think of anything, Mu Lianfeng's cold voice rang out. Don't you know how to tell me before you come in? Master, I was wrong. I thought you were the only one inside. I just got here, so I was a little excited. Mo Yin tried to explain. Unfortunately, her explanation didn't seem to have much effect. Mu Lianfeng still said, Why haven't you scrammed out yet? Mo Yin clamped her butt and said in a hurry, Master, I'll scram right now. Having disturbed her master's mood, Mo Yin began to worry for her life. After Mo Yin left, Zhao Yunner was still rather embarrassed. She struggled out of Mu Lianfeng's embrace. When did you become so indecent? Because Mo Yin had seen this embarrassing scene, Zhao Yunner's face became as red as a monkey's butt. Chapter 508. What's there to be serious about in front of my wife? Mu Lianfeng said indifferently. That won't do either. We can do it secretly in the room. It's not safe here. It's not suitable for us to do such things, Zhao Yunner said sternly. Mu Lianfeng had no idea whether to laugh or cry. All he could do was say, All right, then let's do it when we get back. Mu Lianfeng said it extremely naturally, but it made Zhao Yunner blush once again. What was this guy saying? You're done eating, so I'll be going back first. Do you still need to work for a while? Zhao Yunner said as she cleared away the dishes. I do need to work for a while, But Yin can you stay with me for a while? Mu Lianfeng was rather reluctant to part with Zhao Yin like this. Time with the two of them was just too precious to him. Daodu is still at home. I'll be worried if he's alone, Zhao Yin said. Although Xiao He and Xiao Mao were with him, and Zhao Yin had told Daodu not to go out, it was still not safe for a child to be alone at home. Only when he heard Zhao Yin's words did Mu Lianfeng give up on persuading Zhao Yin to stay. Zhao Yin was important, but his precious son was important as well. Then Yin, you should go back. Why don't I send you back first? I'll come back later. There's no need. You're busy. It's not far. I can do it alone. All right then. Yin, slow down. Don't worry. I'm more familiar with this place than you. With that, Zhao Yin left the tent with the lunchbox. Mo Yin waited outside nervously. She was afraid that Mu Lianfeng would call her in and settle the score with her. Zhao Yin arrived before Mo Yin and said, "You can go in now." "Yes, Mississippi." Mo Yin suddenly thought of something when she saw that Zhao Yin was about to leave. She called out to Zhao Yin, "All right, miss you. What about me? Are you from this village?" "Yes." Zhao Yin nodded. "What's wrong?" Mu Lianfeng pondered for a moment and waved his hand. "Nothing. Then I'll leave first." "All right, take care, Mississippi." Mo Yin hesitated for a moment before entering the tent. He was worried that Mu Lianfeng would torture him in some strange way. As expected, Mu Lianfeng said after Mo Yin entered, "You better dig out your eyes." Mo Yin was shocked. Her master didn't have to be so cruel, did she? "Master, I didn't see anything." "Nothing?" "Yes, master, I didn't see anything. Please let me go." Mu Lianfeng could not help but chuckle when he saw how terrified Mo Yin was. She really was a good-for-nothing. "All right, then I won't dig out your eyes. But if you do this again, I'm not sure if I'll let you go." "Master, don't worry. I definitely won't do it again." "All right," Mu Lianfeng replied indifferently. "All right." Mo Yin suddenly thought of something. After a moment of hesitation, she decided to tell Mu Lianfeng. "Master, do you remember 3 years ago? What happened 3 years ago?" "Master, 3 years ago, when you came to Shuilan village to investigate the mines, you were drugged by a beauty sent by the Prime Minister. At that time, I found a girl in the village to deal with you." Mo Yin began to talk about what happened 3 years ago. Mu Lianfeng frowned when he heard that. Something from 3 years ago. He still had some recollection of it, but he really did not know who the girl was, nor did he know where Mo Yin had found her. Chapter 509. You're saying that the girl from that night is in this village right now? Mo Yin nodded. "Master, to be more precise, I think that girl is Zhao Yin." Mu Lianfeng's heart could not help but tighten when Mo Yin mentioned Zhao Yin. He was unable to describe what he was feeling right now. Nervous? Excited? Disbelief? He thought about it carefully. 3 years ago, Wadamis village. His experience with Zhao Yin was just too similar. If she really was Zhao Yin, then Daodu would be his son. Although he had already regarded Daodu as his own son, the feeling in his heart was still somewhat different from knowing that Daodu was his biological son. "Are you sure?" "Master, this is just my guess. I'll have to ask Li Zheng whether it's true or not," Mo Yin said honestly. 3 years ago, I paid him 200 taels of silver to arrange for a girl to come here. He knew that we were from the imperial court and possessed extraordinary statuses, so he didn't dare to refuse. He found a girl overnight. However, Mu Lianfeng was certain that the girl from that night was Zhao Yin. "There's no need to ask. It's her." "Master." Mo Yin suddenly became rather excited. If it really was Zhao Yin, then wouldn't Master really have a son? If the old madam knew about this, wouldn't she be overjoyed? As Mu Lianfeng was excited, he also sighed at the wonders of fate. As it turned out, he and Zhao Yin had already been fated 3 years ago. Zhao Yin made her way home. It was already dark, so she could only use the moonlight and her familiarity with the terrain to find her way home. When she passed by a large tree, she saw 2 figures huddled together in the distance. Zhao Yin walked closer to take a look. It was actually her second uncle and Qian Chuanxiu. Since when were the 2 of them together? Moreover, it was so late at night. Zhao Yun'er was curious and walked closer to the two of them. He was very careful not to make any noise. Zhao Wenshui said to Qian Chuanxiu wretchedly, "Sister-in-law, there's no one here. Let me hug you. I want to hug you." Qian Chuanxiu took a step back warily and said to Zhao Wen, "Zhao family's second son, what are you trying to do?" "Nothing, sister-in-law. I bumped into you when you went out in the middle of the night. This is fate. Don't you think so?" Zhao Wenshui smiled wretchedly. Qian Chuanxiu spat. "What fate? Don't think I don't know. You were the one who followed me secretly." After being exposed by Qian Chuanxiu, Zhao Wenshui still said shamelessly, "Sister-in-law, didn't you let me follow you? Otherwise, you would have exposed me long ago. Now, you deliberately brought me to a place with no one around, so that something could happen between the two of us, right?" Qian Chuanxiu couldn't help but curse at Zhao Wenshui. "Zhao Wenshui, why are you so shameless? Who wants something to happen between us? Is there something wrong with your brain?" "I, a sister-in-law," Zhao Wenshui called out, and took another step forward. Qian Chunhua was so frightened that she immediately retreated, but Zhao Wenshui still caught her. Zhao Wenshui hugged Qian Chuanxiu and said, "Sister-in-law, let me hug you. You smell so good." Chapter 510. Zhao Wenshui chuckled. "Sister-in-law, it's the middle of the night, and there's no one around. Who can hear you?" Qian Chuanxiu was furious. She couldn't shout for help, and Zhao Wenshui couldn't push this bastard away. What should she do? Looking at Zhao Wenshui's expression, she guessed that he was determined to do something to her. Although Zhao Wenshui was good-looking, she wasn't a loose woman. She couldn't let him take advantage of her, right? Zhao Wenshui rubbed his face against Qian Chuanxiu's body and smiled wretchedly. "Sister-in-law, your man has been gone for many years. Haven't you thought about that? You shameless be ****. How can you ask such a question?" Zhao Wenshui was shameless. How could he be embarrassed to ask such a question? "Sister-in-law, women need men to touch them often. Otherwise, your moo of land will be wasted. Since your man is gone, let me do it. Sister-in-law, why don't you try my work? I promise you'll be satisfied." Zhao Wenhua's shameless words made Qian Chuanxiu embarrassed and angry. "Bah! Don't mess around with me. I won't let you plow my land even if it's wasted." With that, Qian Chuanxiu spat on Zhao Wenhua's face. Zhao Wenshui wiped his face but didn't dislike it. "Sister-in-law, let me kiss your little mouth. I want to know what it tastes like." Qian Chuanxiu didn't know what to do when she saw Zhao Wenshui's face coming closer. "You bastard! You're defiling a woman. I'll report you to the village chief later." Qian Chuanxiu's threat didn't work at all. Zhao Wenshui said, "Sister-in-law, there's no one here. No one saw anything. You don't even have a witness if you want to report me. Who would believe you?" Qian Chuanxiu was a little desperate. This damn pervert. Of all people, why did he have to target her? Now there was no one to help him. Was he really going to be bullied by Zhao Wenshui? A widow's door was full of trouble. Over the years, many men had come to her house in the middle of the night. No man came. She held the kitchen knife and fought with her life. Those who were afraid of death naturally didn't dare to come. But now, who would have thought that at such an old age, he would fall again? She was already 36 this year. She couldn't be compared to a young woman a few years ago. Zhao Wenshui saw that Qian Chuanxiu was angry and comforted her. "Sister-in-law, you don't have to feel so wronged. Don't worry, if you follow me, you won't have any disadvantages. I heard that you wanted to cook for those miners, but Yun'er girl made you lose this opportunity. How about this? I'll go back and talk to my niece, and let her arrange for you to go in. What do you think?" When Qian Chuanxiu heard Zhao Wenshui's words, she was a little tempted. In fact, she hadn't been slept with by a man for so many years. It wasn't that she didn't want to, but she knew that if she hooked up with another man, and the villagers found out, she wouldn't be able to stay in Shui Lan village anymore. Now that Zhao Wenshui hugged her like this, her body reacted a little. If Zhao Wenshui could help her get the cooking job, she would agree. "Is what you said true?" "Of course it's true. Why would I lie to you? But will your words work in front of your niece?" Chapter 511. Okay. Okay then. Seeing that Qian Chuanxiu was convinced, Zhao Wenxue couldn't wait any longer and pushed Qian Chuanxiu to the ground. There was soft grass on the ground, so it wasn't uncomfortable. Zhao Wenxue quickly took off his clothes and began to take off Qian Chuanxiu's clothes. Seeing Zhao Wenxue so impatient, Qian Chuanxiu couldn't help but say, "Why do you look like you haven't done it in a long time? Don't you have a wife at home?" Speaking of this, Zhao Wenxue explained as he took off his clothes, "Sister-in-law, you don't know this. My wife is not as beautiful as you. Sometimes I can't bear to do it. Also, there's only one room at home, so it's not convenient to do it. The children at home are all grown up." "I see." Qian Chuanxiu thought about Li Chuiying's appearance. He was indeed a little ugly. He was not as beautiful as her. When she was young, she was considered one of the top girls in the entire Shuilan village. Otherwise, so many men wouldn't have come to her door after her husband died. After Zhao Wenxue took off their clothes, he began to do it. He breathed heavily and said comfortably, "Sister-in-law, your land is still the best. It's so fertile that people have died from it." Qian Chuanxiu was also pleasured by Zhao Wenhua and began to moan comfortably. Anyway, there was no one in the field, and no one would pass by when it was dark. Therefore, their moans were a little louder and louder. Zhao Yun'er, who was hiding behind the tree, watched the exciting live broadcast. She almost couldn't digest it. These two, were they having an affair? Looking at the two people doing improper things on the ground, Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but sigh. If her second aunt saw this, I don't know what kind of trouble she would make. Thinking about it, it was a little funny. Zhao Yun'er didn't intend to disturb these two people, so she left quietly. When she got home, Douda leaned on the table to learn how to read. Looking at her son's strange behavior at home, Zhao Yun'er's mouth also raised a smile. Zhao Yun'er originally wanted to wait for Mu Lianfeng to come back, but she was tired. Mu Lianfeng showed no signs of coming back, so she went to bed first. She still had to wake up the next day, so she couldn't stay up too late. When Mu Lianfeng came back and saw that Zhao Yun'er was fast asleep, he didn't have the heart to wake her up. He wanted to talk about what happened 3 years ago tomorrow. It wasn't urgent anyway. On the other side, family Zhu. After Mulan and Zhu Eru finished that thing, they were a little satisfied, but they were very happy. As usual, Mulan felt that someone was staring at the house. Thus he whispered into Zhu Eru's ear, "Eru, go and see who it is. Be quiet. Don't alarm him." Zhu Eru nodded, afraid that the person outside would see that there was nothing in the house. Mulan continued to let out soft panting sounds. At the same time, Zhu Eru walked to the side of the door. Suddenly the door opened. The person outside the door was completely caught off guard. Who would have thought that the door would suddenly open? He was so scared that he hurriedly ran away. Zhu Eru didn't give him a chance to run away. He grabbed the person. He couldn't see clearly from afar. After grabbing hold of the person, Zhu Eru was stunned. It wasn't just anyone. It was his third brother Zhu Sanlu. Zhu Eru frowned. He thought about why his third brother wasn't lying in bed to recuperate. Why did he come to his door in the middle of the night? "Third brother, what are you doing?" Chapter 512. Zhu Eru's eyes sharpened. How could he believe Zhu Sanlu's nonsense? "If you didn't do anything, why did you come to my house in the middle of the night?" Zhu Eru's aura was so strong that Zhu Sanlu trembled in fear. It was mainly because Zhu Eru had a psychological shadow after stepping on his crotch last time. "Second brother, I really didn't do anything. If you don't tell me the truth, you'll have a taste of my fist." Mulan also ran out and saw Zhu Sanlu. Sure enough, there really were people who were peeking. It was her uncle again. She didn't know what he was doing. "Second brother, lower your voice. If you promise that I won't tell you, I'll tell you if you don't hit me." Zhu Eru glared at Zhu Sanlu. "You know how to negotiate with me. Second brother. Actually, I really didn't do anything. I just peeked into your house. I didn't do anything." Zhu Sanlu curled his lips with an aggrieved expression. "You just peeked. Tell me, what were you looking at in the middle of the night? Tell me the truth. If you tell me the truth, I'll gouge out both of your eyeballs." Zhu Sanlu didn't think that Zhu Eru was joking with him. He could only tremble and say, "Second brother, I can't do it myself. I just wanted to see how you and second sister-in-law did it. I can't eat meat, but it's good to have a look." After Zhu Sanlu finished speaking, Mulan's face suddenly turned red with embarrassment. Thinking about how the three of them had seen her doing it with her man, and how they had watched the whole process, Mulan felt extremely shy. Although the room was a little dark, and he couldn't see clearly, Zhu Sanlu could hear all the sounds they made while they were doing it. Wasn't this eavesdropping on others? Wasn't this too perverted? Before Mulan could get angry, Zhu Eru kicked Zhu Sanlu. He began to scold. "Our family works hard to support your education, but you think about these dirty things every day. Our money is wasted on you. How can you face us?" Zhu Sanlu cried out in pain. "Ouch, second brother. I never said that I wanted to study. Weren't you the ones who forced me to go? Studying is so boring. All I do is memorize. It's not easy to become an elementary scholar. Not everyone can pass the exam," Zhu Sanlu said. He rubbed his chest. His second brother's kick was really ruthless. He couldn't even stand up. Fortunately, she didn't continue to kick him down there. Otherwise he would really die. "How can you say such things? You must be raising a beast at home." The more Zhu Eru thought about it, the angrier he became. However, it was fortunate that they had split up, otherwise, he would probably be even angrier. "Second brother, can you lower your voice? Don't wake the others up," Zhu Eru said coldly to Zhu Sanlu on the ground. "Are you afraid of being found out? I've never seen someone as shameless as you. I don't care about your studies, but if I catch you peeking or eavesdropping again, I'll really gouge your eyeballs out. Second brother, I won't do it again. I won't listen to you next time." Zhu Sanlu raised his hand and swore. If he couldn't eavesdrop on his second brother and second sister-in-law, then he could eavesdrop on his eldest brother and sister-in-law next time. He wasn't that stupid to take Zhu Eru's fist. Looking at his younger brother's cowardly appearance, Zhu Eru was so angry that he kicked Zhu Sanlu's body again. Mulan and Zhu Eru turned around and entered the room. Chapter 513. Third brother has been spoiled since he was young. He used to be young and didn't understand these things between men and women. Now that he's grown up, I don't know where he heard it from. He's probably curious. After all, he doesn't have a wife, so he can't study it with his wife. He can only look at other people's books, Zhu Eru said. This was his analysis in his heart, and it wasn't much different from the truth. Zhu Sanlu was like this because firstly he was getting older. Secondly, when he was studying in town, he saw the other young masters buying pornographic books to read. Out of curiosity he bought one too. Once he started reading he couldn't stop himself. He was addicted to it all day long, and then he became more curious about the things between men and women. Erusai, I still feel uncomfortable. We should save money as soon as possible. When the time comes, we can build a new house and move out. There won't be so many problems. Lana, I'll work hard. Don't worry. N. Mulan responded and burrowed into her man's arms. She believed in him. The next morning, Zhao Yin'er took Zhao Ping to the street. Because it was her first blind date, Zhao Ping could be said to be dressed up. She put on the new clothes, smeared a lot of white powder on her face, and used red paper to touch her lips. Zhao Yin'er couldn't describe this feeling of Zhao Ping. She clearly looked like a clown. But Zhao Ping probably thought that she looked good in her heart. Was she sure that this appearance wouldn't scare people? If she were to scare someone to death, this marriage would be ruined. She didn't know how long Zhao Ping would stay at home. Zhao Yin'er thought about it, and still said to Zhao Ping, Sister Ping, come, cover your face with this handkerchief. This way, he won't see the birthmark on your face. Look at half of your face, you're still a beauty. Since he said that he doesn't care about your appearance, then don't show it to him. What if you like him, and he's not satisfied with your appearance? Why don't they just cover their faces, and wait for the other party to agree? Once the marriage is settled, they won't have a chance to regret it. Don't you think so? Zhao Ping felt that what Zhao Yin'er said made sense. She was not ugly even if she covered half of her face with the birthmark. Is that all right? I'll blindfold it, Zhao Ping said as she took it. Yes. After Zhao Ping covered her face, she did look much better. Zhao Yun'er breathed a sigh of relief. If she went on a blind date like this, she should be able to muddle through. The car drove towards Yang City. Zhao Ping was very excited along the way. When they arrived at Yang City, Zhao Ping took care of the stall first. The man hadn't arrived yet. Matchmaker Tua Gao had also told her in her message that the man could come directly to her breakfast stand. Her stall was quite famous in Yang City, so she could find it by asking anyone. The three of them were busy in front of the breakfast stand. Zhao Ping looked around anxiously, craning her head from time to time as she waited for the man to come. When Zhao Yun'er saw Zhao Ping's expression, she really didn't know what to say. Didn't this woman know how to be more reserved? Fortunately, there were no outsiders around. If the women in the village saw this, they would probably gossip again. Sigh, it's been so long. Why isn't he here yet? Mother, is he not coming? Zhao Ping asked after waiting for half an hour. Chapter 5:14. Zhao Ping stomped her feet anxiously and said, Mother, but I've been waiting for so long. Then how long do you have? Pinger, don't be anxious. Just wait a little longer. He'll definitely come. But, Zhao Ping wanted to say something, but Zhao Yun'er was annoyed by her and replied, Sister Ping, why are you in such a hurry? He doesn't have a donkey carriage, so he can only come here on an ox cart. It's normal for him to be a little late. Sigh. Zhao Ping sighed and said, I'll wait a little longer then. Okay. After about an hour, Matchmaker Gao came over with a delicate-looking boy. The boy was in his early 20s. He was fair, clean, and very good-looking. He followed behind Matchmaker Gao and seemed a little shy. The moment she saw Matchmaker Gao, she knew that the boy behind her was Zhao Ping's blind date today. Zhao Yun'er glanced at him and felt that he was not bad. He was more than enough to match Zhao Ping. If it weren't for the fact that he was poor, Zhao Ping probably wouldn't have been able to marry him. When the two of them were together, it felt like a fresh flower stuck in a pile of cow dung. Of course, the fresh flower belonged to this man, and the cow dung belonged to Zhao Ping. Zhao Yun'er was relieved. Zhao Ping definitely wouldn't reject such a good-looking boy. The marriage was more or less set in stone. Matchmaker Gao walked over with a smile and said, Haha, I've brought him here. This child is afraid of strangers, and I was afraid that he wouldn't know, so I accompanied him. Liang Jinxiao gestured for Matchmaker Gao and the boy to sit down. He specially reserved a table for them. Matchmaker Gao tugged at the boy and said, Qin Yuan, come and sit down. Qin Yuan nodded shyly and responded. Zhao Ping's heart thumped nonstop when she saw such a good-looking man. He lowered his head even more. She thought to herself that Matchmaker Gao wasn't lying. This man was really good-looking. Liang Jinxiao saw that Zhao Ping was standing shyly at the side and did not come over. He hurriedly urged her. Pinger girl, what are you thinking about? Come here quickly. After being called by Liang Jinxiao, Zhao Ping walked over bashfully. Mother, hurry up and come over. You two can have a chat and have some breakfast first. Zhao Ping had eaten earlier, but Matchmaker Gao and Qin Yuan hadn't eaten yet. Zhao Yun'er was not stingy. She took a lot of delicious food from the stall to entertain the two people. Matchmaker Gao, the two of you must be hungry. Eat something first, and let the two children chat. Matchmaker Gao nodded with a smile. Naturally, she wouldn't refuse. The aroma of the breakfast had already drawn out the glutton in her stomach. Qin Yuan was embarrassed at first, but seeing that Matchmaker Gao was not standing on ceremony, he couldn't be too restrained and started eating with Matchmaker Gao. Matchmaker Gao was like a pig. She ate a lot of food by herself. Zhao Yun'er was a little disdainful, but she didn't miss the food. She ate it anyway. She wouldn't have to entertain her that many times in the future. Matchmaker Gao saw that Zhao Yun'er's business was doing well. She smiled and said, It looks like you two make a lot of money in a day. Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, It's okay. It's better than farming in the countryside. Chapter 5:15. As Matchmaker Gao spoke, she whispered into Qin Yuan's ear. Qin Yuan, did you see that? She's managing this stall, and her family is very rich. If you marry this girl, her family will definitely have a lot of dowry. By then, your family won't be so poor anymore. Qin Yuan listened to Matchmaker Gao's words and nodded. I understand, Auntie Gao. Thank you for helping me. It's fine, it's fine. You don't have to be so formal with me. Later, have a good talk with that girl. You have to make sure she's satisfied. Got it, Auntie Gao. Qin Yuan also glanced at Zhao Ping a few times. He saw that Zhao Ping was indeed quite good-looking. The half of her face that was exposed was quite pretty. Although he didn't know what the other half of her face was like, it shouldn't be too bad. Even if it was bad, there was no way around it. It was not easy to marry a wife and even have a dowry. Zhao Ping blushed when Qin Yuan glanced at her. This man was actually looking at her. She didn't know what his impression of her was, but she was very satisfied. After Matchmaker Gao and Qin Yuan finished eating, Matchmaker Gao asked Qin Yuan and Zhao Ping to walk around Yang City. They could chat more freely without anyone around them. Ping, you two go ahead. Liang Jinxiao also urged. Seeing Zhao Ping's shy face, he guessed that she was too embarrassed to go. Okay, Miss Ping, let's go. Qin Yuan's pleasant voice rang out, making Zhao Ping's heart flutter again. Zhao Ping replied shyly, okay. Then, she followed behind Qin Yuan and walked away shyly. Zhao Yin'er looked at the two of them and felt that they were about the same. Matchmaker Gao continued to sit in Zhao Yin'er's shop and chatted with Liang Jinxiao. When Zhao Yin'er closed the stall, Zhao Ping and Qin Yuan also came back. Matchmaker Gao left with Qin Yuan, and Zhao Yin'er and her family drove the donkey back. On the way, Liang Jinxiao asked about Zhao Ping's opinion. Ping, what do you think? Are you satisfied with this person? If you agree, I'll go back and talk to Matchmaker Gao, and our families will settle the marriage. Zhao Ping nodded shyly. Mother, I think it's pretty good. It's fine as long as you think it's a good idea. Ping, it's settled then. Don't say that mother casually married you off. Mom, I won't. I think Qin Yuan is pretty good. Haha, that's good. Zhao Yin'er hooked up the corner of her mouth and finally solved one of her worries. When Zhao Ping got married, there would be one less scourge in the family. She reckoned that their lives would be better. On the other side, Qin Yuan and Matchmaker Gao were sitting in the bullock cart. Matchmaker Gao asked Qin Yuan for his opinion. Qin Yuan explained honestly. Although I think she's a little silly, a little stupid, and maybe a little ugly according to what you said, she's still a little silly. Everything else is fine. Auntie Gao, can her family really give her a lot of dowry? Of course. Didn't you see how good her breakfast stall's business is? They can probably earn 1 or 2 taels a day. Once his daughter gets married, he'll have to compensate at least a few taels, right? Hearing Matchmaker Gao's words, Qin Yuan agreed. Alright then. Auntie Gao, we'll have to trouble you to help our families arrange this marriage. Matchmaker Gao chuckled. Alright, I'll help you arrange it. When the time comes, your families can set a date and arrange this marriage. Chapter 516. When Zhao Ping returned home, Mu Lianfeng and Dao Du were both in the room. Seeing that Zhao Yin'er had returned, Dao Du ran over excitedly and said to Zhao Yin'er, Mother, Dao Du is not a wild child. He has a father. Zhao Yin'er was stunned. Didn't this child already acknowledge Mu Lianfeng as his godfather? Every day his father would come and go. Why did he suddenly say this? I know. Zhao Yin'er replied with a smile. She pointed at Mu Lianfeng and said, Isn't this your father? Dao Du's little brows furrowed. He nodded and shook his head. Mother, this father is Dao Du's father, but he is also Dao Du's biological father. Zhao Yin'er felt confused by Dao Du's words. Dao Du, mother doesn't understand. Dao Du sighed. He seemed a little sad that he couldn't explain it. He could only look at Mu Lianfeng for help. Mu Lianfeng walked in front of Zhao Yin'er and said to Zhao Yin'er, Yin'er, 3 years ago, the person who made you pregnant with Dao Du was me. Dao Du is our flesh and blood. Zhao Yin'er was stunned. What did Mu Lianfeng say? Dao Du was their flesh and blood. The person from 3 years ago was him? Seeing that Zhao Yin'er was stunned, Mu Lianfeng explained in detail what happened 3 years ago. Zhao Yin'er finally understood. She sighed in her heart. She didn't know who Doubta's father was, and she didn't want to know. She didn't want Doubta's father to be found. But she never expected that this person was Mu Lianfeng. Yin our fate is destined by the heavens. No matter how long it takes, I will still return to your side. Mu Lianfeng said to Zhao Yin'er affectionately. Yin'er, in the future, I will protect you and Doubtu. I will never let the two of you suffer any grievances. Trust me, when the mine is finished, I will marry you and give you a grand wedding. I will make up for all the grievances you suffered in the past. I want everyone to know that you are marrying me in a grand manner. Doubtu is our child, not a wild child. He is a noble little heir. As he said, Mu Lianfeng said this, he excitedly pulled Zhao Yin'er into his arms. It would be a lie if she said she wasn't a little. Zhao Yin'er felt rather fortunate that the person back then was Mu Lianfeng. Okay, Zhao Yin'er replied. Thank you, Yin'er, Mu Lianfeng said. Actually, he felt guilty for all the grievances Zhao Yin'er and Doubtu had suffered in the past 3 years. Fortunately, Zhao Yin'er didn't blame him. Otherwise, he wouldn't know what to do. Looking at the smiles on Doubtu and Mu Lianfeng's faces, Zhao Yin'er suddenly felt very happy. After a moment of warmth, Zhao Yin'er began to prepare lunch. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng had a lot of free time today, she asked curiously why he suddenly didn't have anything to do. Yin'er, Mo Yin is here. I've left everything to him. He'll take care of it. Really? Yeah. He's very capable, so this won't be a problem for him. It's not a big deal anyway, Mu Lianfeng said easily. However, Mo Yin was complaining incessantly on the mountain. If she knew that Mu Lianfeng actually said it wasn't a big deal, she would probably die from anger. Chapter 517. Zhao Yin'er nodded. So that was the case. With someone helping Mu Lianfeng would obviously be much more relaxed. If you have time, call him over for a meal. It definitely won't be good to eat with so many people. It's fine. He's easy to take care of. Just feed him some food. The corner of Zhao Yin'er's mouth twitched slightly. Mu Lianfeng really was quite heartless as a master. Mo Yin suddenly felt a layer of coldness on the mountain top. This bad feeling made him very uncomfortable. All right then. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled, because he still remembered what happened last night. That fellow had suddenly ruined his mood, so he had to punish him properly. If Mo Yin knew what Mu Lianfeng was thinking right now, he probably would not have entered the tent even if he was beaten to death. After lunch, Mu Lan and Liang Jinxiao came over again. This time, Mu Lianfeng was present, so they could not help but feel a little restrained. Zhao Yin'er sighed when she saw how bashful Mu Lan and Liang Jinxiao were. She could only let Mu Lianfeng leave and take Doubtu out to play. That way, Mu Lan and Liang Jinxiao would not feel too uncomfortable. Mu Lianfeng felt like he had been disliked, but there was nothing he could do. He left with Doubtu. Mu Lan and Liang Jinxiao both let out a sigh of relief after Mu Lianfeng left. Zhao Yin'er smiled. Mother, sister-in-law Mulan, do you seem a little afraid of him? Mulan's lips twitched. Yin'er, he's the young master. His status is noble. There's no reason for us not to be afraid. Yeah, Yin'er, the young master is different from us after all. We just feel uncomfortable in the same room. What's wrong with the crown prince? Isn't he just an ordinary person? Mother, sister-in-law Mulan, you don't have to be too afraid of him. Look at how obedient he is now. When I asked him to go out, he went out obediently. Liang Jinxiao and Mulan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Mu Lianfeng listened to Zhao Yin'er because he liked Zhao Yin'er. Ordinary people like them didn't dare to say a word in front of Mu Lianfeng. After Mu Lianfeng brought Doubtu out, they strolled around the village. Doubtu introduced Mu Lianfeng as his biological father, and that he was not a wild child. Doubtu was naturally very satisfied with Mu Lianfeng's tall and strong father. Mu Lianfeng also let Doubtu do as he pleased. In fact, he was more than happy to be introduced by Doubtu. He wanted everyone to know that Doubtu had such a cool and powerful father. He wanted to see who would dare to bully Doubtu and laugh at Doubtu in the future. After Doubtu was so proud of himself that he actually gave a few less children, he bumped into Zhao Tianyu on the way. You wild child, stop lying. What do you mean by your father? Don't just randomly use a person. Who doesn't know that your mother and a wild man gave birth to you? Zhao Tianyu said sarcastically. Actually, he was only saying this because he was jealous of Daodu. After all, Mu Lianfeng was tall, handsome and rich. Everyone wanted a father like him. If it was someone else, it would be fine. However, it was Daodu, whom he had always bullied. Daodu glared at Zhao Tianyu angrily. This is my father. Don't talk nonsense. Who can prove that he's your father? That's right, that's right. Daodu muttered. Zhao Tianyu said sarcastically. Daodu, stop dreaming. A little wild child will always be a little wild child. You'll always be a little wild child. Well, what? Daodu was so angry that he cried. Chapter 518. After hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Daodu stopped crying. He wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes and replied, Daddy is right. Daodu is a man. He can't cry so easily. Daodu is the best. Mu Lianfeng praised. He was indeed his good son. Sometimes, if you can't talk it out, you can use force to solve it. Daddy is right behind you. What are you afraid of? Mu Lianfeng encouraged him. If anyone dares to bully you next time, beat them to death. Daddy will take responsibility if anything happens. When Daodu heard this, he nodded heavily. Daddy, Daodu understands. Zhao Yun'er was not beside them. If Zhao Yun'er knew about this, she would probably not know whether to laugh or cry. This Mu Lianfeng was even encouraging his children to fight. When Daodu heard Mu Lianfeng's words, he glared at Zhao Tianyu. He rolled up his sleeves and began to fight with Zhao Tianyu. I won't allow you to talk about me like that. See if I don't beat you to death. Zhao Tianyu was naturally not afraid of Daodu's weak body. He gently pushed Daodu back, and Daodu sat on the ground. However, Daodu did not cry this time. Daodu, get up. Mu Lianfeng said. Yes, yes. After Daodu got up again, he rushed towards Zhao Tianyu. This time, he directly grabbed Zhao Tianyu's arm and bit down hard. Ah, it hurts. Zhao Tianyu cried. Just as he was about to punch and kick Daodu, Mu Lianfeng pulled Daodu over and protected Daodu in his arms. Mu Lianfeng slapped Zhao Tianyu, and Zhao Tianyu was slapped to the ground. He could not even get up. Zhao Tianyu felt wronged and cried. Wah! Seeing Zhao Tianyu being beaten up so badly, Daodu chuckled. He felt that Zhao Tianan deserved it. Although Mu Lianfeng should not be so calculative with a child, he was such a protective person. Whoever bullied his son, no matter who it was, he would not let them off. Daodu is amazing and brave. With Daddy here, Daodu is not afraid, Daodu said with a smile. Looking at this son of his, Mu Lianfeng's heart was filled with guilt. Based on the current situation, Daodu had been bullied by the children in the village a lot in the past. Fortunately, he would always be by Daodu's side in the future, and would never let him suffer any grievances. Father, Brother Tianyu is the worst. He used to bully Daodu all the time. Daodu is so happy to be beaten by you today. Daodu said in a soft voice. Is that so? Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Tianyu on the ground, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Yes, yes. In that case, Daddy will continue to teach him a lesson for you. Zhao Yun'er had just finished her work when she saw Li Chuiying coming over crying. As soon as she saw her, she threw herself in front of Zhao Yun'er and begged. Yun'er, I beg you, please save my Tianyu. Otherwise, he will be beaten to death. Zhao Yun'er was a little confused. What did it have to do with her that Zhao Tianyu was beaten up? Why did Li Chuiying come over to beg her? Second aunt, what's the matter? How would I know what happened if you came over without any reason? Zhao Yun'er replied indifferently. Chapter 519. Zhao Yun'er was even more confused. When did Mu Lianfeng go to teach Zhao Tianyu a lesson? Yun'er girl, I beg you. We wronged you in the past. Auntie will never speak ill of you in the future, as long as you can save my Tianyu. Li Chuiying cried pitifully. Zhao Yun'er didn't understand the specific situation, so she couldn't immediately agree. She believed that Mu Lianfeng must have his own reasons for doing so. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er didn't say anything, Li Chuiying begged Liang Jinxiao, third sister-in-law, please help me persuade Yun'er girl. I only have one precious son, Tianyu. If something happens to him, I don't want to live. Seeing that Li Chuiying was crying so pitifully, Liang Jinqiao sighed and helped Li Chuiying to plead. Yin'er, please help second aunt. Zhao Yin'er frowned. Take me there first. Okay. Li Chuiying hurriedly responded and led Zhao Yin'er away. When Zhao Yin'er arrived, she didn't see that Mu Lianfeng was beating or scolding Zhao Tianyu. Instead, Zhao Tianyu was kneeling on the ground with a thorny thorn in front of him. What was going on? Zhao Yin'er walked over and asked, What are you? Mother, father is helping Daodu to teach brother Tianyu a lesson. But I didn't see you do anything. Father said that brother Tianyu has to do it himself. He has to take the thorn on the ground and hit himself until father is satisfied. Only then will he let brother Tianyu go. But brother Tianyu still doesn't dare to hit himself. Daodu explained. This, Zhao Yin'er was a bit cruel. When the thorny thorn stabbed him, there would be bloody marks on his body. It was no wonder that Li Chuiying came crying, fearing that her son would be beaten to death. Indeed, he could not withstand such torment. Zhao Tianyu knelt on the ground and cried. When he saw Li Chuiying coming over, he cried even louder. Although Li Chuiying felt sorry for Zhao Tianyu, she didn't dare to be presumptuous in front of the Shitsi. My son, if you don't make a move, you'll have to keep kneeling here until you hit yourself. Only then will I let you go. Since we can't escape, we might as well finish him off quickly, Mu Lianfeng said to Zhao Tianyu, who was lying on the ground. Ouch. You have to take responsibility for your actions when you bullied others. When you bullied Daodu, why didn't you think that Daodu was in pain too? Zhao Tianyu blinked his eyes. A 6-year-old child's mind was somewhat mature. He knew that he wouldn't be able to escape today, but he really didn't dare to prick himself with those thorny thorns. Yin'er girl, please beg the Shitsi to let Tianyu go. Li Chuiying tugged at Zhao Yin'er's skirt. Zhao Yin'er looked at Mu Lianfeng's cold and handsome face. He had finally stood up for her son. What good would it do for her to interfere? Second aunt, you should be glad that the Shitsi didn't kill Tianyu and only punished him. Don't you know that Daodu is the Shitsi's biological son? Not only did Tianyu call Daodu a little bastard, he even bullied Daodu. The Shitsi's punishment isn't too severe, right? When Zhao Yin'er's words came out, everyone present was stunned. Yin'er girl, what are you saying? Daodu really is the Shitsi's biological son. Chapter 520. This, Li Chuiying wasn't an idiot. She naturally understood the consequences of Daodu being Mu Lianfeng's son. She didn't know the specifics, but Mu Lianfeng definitely had his reasons for protecting Daodu, and Zhao Yin'er. She sighed helplessly and said to Zhao Tianyu, Tianyu, just hit yourself a few times. If you don't, mother won't be able to save you. Whoa, mother, it'll only hurt for a while. It'll be fine soon. Mother. Good. Once you're done, mother will buy you some candy. Zhao Tianyu was afraid of Mu Lianfeng and was persuaded by Li Chuiying. In the end, he picked up the thorn and hit himself a few times. Mu Lianfeng wanted to punish the chicken to warn the monkey, so he didn't pursue the matter. From today onwards, no child would dare to say that Daodu was a bastard or bully Daodu. Let's go, Daodu. If anyone bullies you next time, just call them Daddy. Daddy will help you teach them a lesson no matter what. Okay. Daodu cheered. Mu Lianfeng finally lifted Daodu up and placed Daodu on his shoulder. Looking at the big and small shadows on the ground, Zhao Yin'er felt a touch of warmth in her heart. From now on, there was one more person who stood up to protect Daodu. It made her feel that no matter how difficult the road ahead was, she was no longer alone. Mother, come quickly, let's go home. Daodu turned his head and called out to Zhao Yin'er. Okay, mother will come right away. Zhao Yin'er said as she caught up with the father and son. Nothing major happened over the next few days. The men in town were gradually recruited to work in the mountains. Zhao Pinger's marriage had reached a point where it was being discussed. Matchmaker Gao sent someone over to say that the man had agreed and was preparing for the wedding. The woman could also prepare. A few days later, the man's parents and Qin Yuan came to Shuilan village with things. Yin'er, let's eat together at noon. Matchmaker Gao said that the man will come over later in the day and have lunch at our house. Your Ping or Jia's marriage is a big deal. It's best if all of our family is present. You're smart. You can help them deal with whatever they say. Liang Jinxiao said to Zhao Yun. Erwan's on the way back from Yang City. Mu Lianfeng was having lunch on the mountain today. If he didn't come back, she could bring Daodu to Liang Jinxiao's place. So she replied, Okay, mother, I'll help you cook later. Since they're here, they're guests after all. We have to make some delicious food to entertain them. Ciao. Es ist Tuz's marriage, est. Otherwise, if this marriage is ruined, it will be difficult to find another one for your sister Ping. That's right. It wasn't easy to find a man who was willing to marry Zhao Ping was also satisfied with him. It would be a pity if the marriage failed. Xiao didn't have the energy to worry about Zhao Ping's marriage. After returning to Shuilan village, Zhao Yin'er put down her things and went straight to old Zhao's house. The man's family had already arrived. Qin Yuan's parents were about the same age as Zhao Yin'er's parents. However, because they were poorer than old Zhao's family and had more land to manage, they looked much older. They were dark and skinny and looked like honest people. They had just arrived. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao asked them to sit down. Ping pour them a glass of water. What are you doing? Liang Jinxiao urged. Zhao Ping reacted and immediately did as Liang Jinxiao instructed. Chapter 521. After all, they were her future in-laws. She had to leave a good impression on them. Uncle, Aunt, you must be thirsty. Have some water. Zhao Ping poured 2 glasses of water and handed them over. The Qin couple smiled and took the glasses. Okay. Thank you. You're such a good child. Zhao Ping blushed slightly after being praised by the Qin couple. Zhao Ping then poured another glass for Qin Yuan and said, Brother Yuan, this is for you. Qin Yuan also took the glass and smiled at Zhao Ping. Thank you, Ping. You're welcome. We're going to be a family in the future. Why are you being so courteous? After Zhao Ping finished speaking, everyone present burst into laughter. The Qin couple said, That's right. After the 2 children get married, we're going to be a family. Why are you being so courteous? You guys continue chatting. I'm going to the kitchen to cook, Liang Jinxiao said. Sorry to trouble you, sister-in-law, Qin Yuan's mother said. Liang Jinxiao smiled slightly. No problem. Mother, I'll help you too. Zhao Yin'er followed her mother. The mother and daughter could also hear the commotion in the house. Zhao Yin'er had prepared a lot of meat dishes. There was meat, fish, and all kinds of vegetables. In the countryside, even the new year might not necessarily be so delicious. In order to satisfy everyone, Zhao Yin'er personally cooked this meal. Her culinary skills were much better than Liang Jinxiao's. Moreover, she could stir-fry each ingredient in different ways. After a while, a fragrant smell wafted from the kitchen. The fragrance of the dishes floated all the way to the 3rd branch's house. When the Qin family smelled the alluring fragrance of the dishes, they couldn't help but swallow their saliva. No wonder matchmaker Gao said that the bride's family was well-to-do. If they weren't well-to-do, they wouldn't be willing to eat such good food. The Qin couple smiled and said to Zhao Wenhua, You're too polite. You're even treating us like this. It makes us feel a little embarrassed. After all, we didn't bring much. Sigh. Our family is too poor. We can't afford anything. Otherwise, we would definitely bring the best for you. Zhao Wenhua waved his hand and said, It's fine. It's fine as long as he's here. As long as the intention was there, it didn't matter how many things there were. These days, the lives of us commoners aren't easy. Who doesn't have a difficult time? The Qin couple nodded in agreement. They thought that Zhao Wenhua was a reasonable person. It was naturally good to be in-laws with such a person. You must be tired after such a long journey. You can have a good meal later. My second daughter's cooking skills are pretty good, Zhao Wenhua said with a smile. With Zhao Wenhua's words and the occasional fragrance from the kitchen, the Qin family became even more impatient. They couldn't wait to eat immediately. Their family was poor and they couldn't even afford to eat rice, let alone these things. Oh right, it's almost time to eat. Ping, do you want to take off the veil on your face? Otherwise, it won't be convenient for us to eat. Also, we haven't seen what Ping looks like, Qin Yuan's mother said. She was curious about Zhao Ping's appearance under the veil. Matchmaker Gao said that she was ugly, but with the veil, she didn't look that ugly. When Qin Yuan's mother said this, Zhao Ping became a little nervous. She could escape today, but she couldn't always wear a veil when she married into the family. She prepared herself. I'm not good looking. I'm afraid I'll scare you. Chapter 522. Zhao Ping was relieved after hearing the Zhao couple's words. Qin Yuan had always said that he didn't care about her appearance, so Zhao Ping took off the handkerchief on her face bashfully. The family Qin's people, who had said that they didn't care, were stunned when they saw Zhao Ping's appearance. The family Qin's people thought that Zhao Ping was just ugly, but they didn't expect Zhao Ping to be so ugly. The obvious birthmark on her face was a little shocking. They really didn't want to look at it a second time after seeing it. If they married her, they would have to face it every day. How could they stand it? The Qin couple pulled the corners of their mouths awkwardly. They didn't particularly mind it, but their son. They didn't want to scare him when they slept on the same bed in the future. The Qin couple glanced at Qin Yuan. Seeing that Qin Yuan's expression wasn't very good, he stared at Zhao Ping's face with a trace of disdain in his eyes. The Qin couple coughed softly to remind Qin Yuan. Disdain was disdain, but he couldn't show it in front of the host. Besides, Zhao Ping was indeed a little ugly. Her family was rich, and they themselves said that they didn't mind her appearance. If they broke off the engagement because of her appearance, it would be unkind of them. However, they were more or less dissatisfied with matchmaker Yu Gao in their hearts. She only said that Zhao Ping was ugly, but didn't say that Zhao Ping could be ugly to this extent. The Qin couple forced a smile and said to Zhao Ping, actually it's okay. It's not that ugly. I've seen many people uglier than you. Yuan, don't you think so? Qin Yuan's mother, Mu Chunfang, sat next to Qin Yuan and poked Qin Yuan with her arm. Qin Yuan was stunned for a few seconds before he realized it. The corners of his mouth twitched as he replied, yes, that's right. Luckily, it's not that ugly. Although he said that, Qin Yuan didn't think so in his heart. He didn't want to look at Zhao Ping's face a second time. Perhaps Zhao Ping's appearance was far from what he had expected. He was a normal man. It would be a lie to say that he didn't care about a woman's appearance. If not for the fact that his family was poor, he would also want to marry a good-looking wife. When Zhao Ping heard the Qin couple and Qin Yuan say this, she felt relieved. She smiled shyly and stole glances at Qin Yuan from time to time. Qin Yuan felt extremely uncomfortable being stared at by Zhao Ping. It would have been fine if he was being stared at by a beauty, but he was being stared at by such an ugly woman. Qin Yuan had no choice but to look elsewhere. Zhao Wenhua and the Qin couple chatted for a long time. As they chatted, they had a rough understanding of Zhao Ping's family situation. Hearing Zhao Wenhua's words, their family was very rich. If Qin Yuan married Zhao Ping, then their family would more or less receive help in the future. Perhaps they wouldn't have to live such a hard life. When the Qin couple saw that their son was very unhappy, they thought that they should go back and persuade him to do some psychological homework. For their family, no matter what, they had to marry Zhao Ping. In the kitchen, Zhao Yin and Liang Jinxiao worked together to prepare the dishes. They brought the dishes to the third branch's room and invited the Qin family to eat. Chapter 523. They never expected that the bride's family would have so much delicious food. There were fish and meat, and they were so hungry that they swallowed their saliva. Family Qin's family rarely ate meat in a year, so they could not resist the temptation of these dishes. Moreover, these dishes were so delicious that they were definitely more delicious than the meat they made. After all, they were not in their own home, so the Qin family restrained themselves and were too embarrassed to eat. They could only eat if the host allowed them to. While waiting for Zhao Wenhua's family to speak, they kept glancing at the dishes on the table. Liang Jinxiao laughed and said, "Come, hurry up and eat. We only prepared this much today. Don't be shy and eat to your heart's content." The Qin couple smiled at Liang Jinxiao and said, "Sister-in-law, your family's food is really good. There's fish and meat. Most people don't even have as many dishes as your family during the New Year." Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, "You are important guests, so of course we have to treat you well. In the past, my family often didn't get to eat meat, but now we often get to eat meat. It's okay, when the days get better in the future, these won't be a problem." Liang Jinxiao did not mean anything else when he said these words, and he did not think too much about it. When the Qin couple heard this, they sighed in their hearts that Zhao Ping's family was really not ordinary. How good would it be if their family could eat meat often in the future? At the same time, the members of the Zhao family also sat around the table. The table was not big, so they could only squeeze together. Zhao Ping happily squeezed onto the same stool as Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan furrowed his brows slightly, appearing to be unhappy. Zhao Ping did not catch the expression on Qin Yuan's face. Instead, she continued to lean closer to Qin Yuan, as if she wanted to stick her whole body to Qin Yuan. Zhao Yin'er sighed. Even if Zhao Ping liked him, she shouldn't be like this, right? Aren't you afraid of incurring the wrath of the Qin Yuan by being so unreserved? In front of so many people, Zhao Yin'er couldn't remind Zhao Ping. The Qin couple secretly winked at Qin Yuan. Only then did Qin Yuan restrain the disgust in his eyes. Eat. It's not easy for our two families to gather together today. Let's have a good meal together. Don't be shy. Zhao Wenhua greeted with a smile. "Father," Zhao Ping called out shyly. Zhao Wenhua asked, "What's wrong, Ping?" "Father, didn't little sister Yin give you a jar of good wine before? You don't even take out the good wine when treating people like this," Zhao Ping said bashfully. As he spoke, he glanced at the Qin couple. He was just trying to curry favor with them. Upon hearing that it was good wine, Qin Yuan's father, Qin Dahai's eyes lit up. His favorite drink was wine. However, with his family's financial situation, he couldn't even afford cheap wine, let alone other good wine. Zhao Wenhua patted his head and said, "Ping is right. Look at my memory, I forgot to bring out the wine. I'll go get it." Liang Jinxiao stood up and took out the wine that Zhao Yin'er had brought over. Zhao Wenhua took it and filled Qin Dahai's bowl with wine. He hadn't even drunk it yet, but he could tell that it was good wine just by smelling the aroma. Chapter 524. On one hand, these words were meant for Zhao Ping and on the other hand, for Qin Yuan to hear. He only hoped that by saying this, Qin Yuan would be able to accept Zhao Ping. Qin Yuan was somewhat displeased. He thought about how his father could sell him out just because of some wine. "Come, don't just sit there. Hurry up and eat, hurry up and eat." Zhao Wenhua chuckled and called out to them. The Qin family was already impatient. When Zhao Wenhua said this, they did not hold back and began to eat. It was unknown if it was because they had never eaten such delicious food before, but the Qin family kept eating. They seemed to have forgotten that they were at someone else's house, and did not hold back. Fish meat was good to begin with. With Zhao Yin'er's excellent cooking skills, to the Qin family, it was simply a heavenly delicacy. Zhao Yin'er was not very satisfied with the Qin family's performance at the dining table. Although she could understand that the Qin family was too poor, and could not resist the temptation of delicious food, they kept eating as if they were afraid that others would snatch the food away. But they could not be like this. The Qin family gave Zhao Yin the same feeling that Ma Xiaofeng gave her. It was a very bad feeling. Zhao Yin'er's opinion of the Qin family was not important. It was fine as long as Zhao Ping was satisfied. When Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao saw that the Qin family was eating so happily, they did not want to talk about other things. They wanted to spoil their mood and wait for them to finish eating. At the dining table, Zhao Ping attentively kept putting food into Qin Yuan's bowl. Qin Yuan stared at the chopsticks that Zhao Ping had eaten and felt extremely disgusted. If it were not for the fact that the food was too delicious, he would not have taken it. After they finally finished eating, Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao prepared to have a good chat with the Qin couple about their children's marriage. "Ouch!" Qin Yuan cried out as she clutched her stomach. Her face was slightly red. and she looked a little shy and embarrassed. What's wrong, Yuan? Mu Chunfang asked Qin Yuan with concern. I have a stomachache, and I want to go to the toilet, Qin Yuan said in a low voice. This was the first time he had come to the girl's house, and he had already told her about it. It was indeed embarrassing. The dishes on the table had not been cleaned up, and the others were very embarrassed. Fortunately, these words were not heard during the meal just now. Otherwise, this table of people would not be able to continue eating. When the others did not know what to say, Zhao Ping'er jumped out and said, Big brother Yuan, then go and poop. I'll bring some toilet paper to accompany you. After Zhao Ping'er finished speaking, she eagerly took out a tissue and handed it to Qin Yuan. Let's go, big brother Yuan. I'll go with you, Zhao Ping'er said. She said it with a natural expression, and did not think there was anything wrong with it. Qin Yuan was completely stunned. He, a man, was going to poop. Why was she, a woman, following him? The Qin couple was shocked by Zhao Ping'er's words. They thought that as a girl, how could she have the nerve to say such words? Didn't she know how to be a little reserved? She said that she was passionate, but she could not follow a man to poop. After all, they were not married yet. It was really not good for her to do so. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.